for today. I'll be introducing my guest in a bit, but don't forget to follow the Ghana Premier League across the various social media handles. It is Ghana League on Instagram, X, and then also on Snapchat. And then you can also follow us on Facebook, TikTok, and then also on YouTube at Ghana Premier League for all the latest update and also news with relative to the Ghana Premier League. It's now time to introduce my guest. This afternoon, I'm joined here at pitchside by Michael Akumia. Good afternoon, Michael.
Good afternoon, Josiah.
How's it going?
I'm good. It's good to see you once again.
Honestly, it's a hot weather.
Definitely.
Very, very, very hot, isn't it? It is. But
Yes.
first of all, let's just take a look at what happened yesterday at the University of Ghana Stadium, where 11 Wonders were hoping to make it back-to-back home wins or wins in the league for the first time this season. But unfortunately, All Blacks just put the brakes on them. And Rudolph Mensah scoring twice in that game to give them all 3 points. Michael.
I think for All Blacks, they really needed this particular win. Back in the Ghana Premier League, looking for a stay, that they could reappear next season and make sure that they find a way to put themselves in the top 4, or more or less try and fight for the league. But for Rudolph, I'm so happy for him. Last season, he scored 27 goals in 30 games for Swedru All Blacks. This season, he started off very slowly. He was not scoring. The likes of Tutu at the back line, most of these guys were not putting up good performances match after match. But I think to pick up the pieces in the last few games has been an inspiration for their coach and they themselves. Yeah. And I think the people of Swedru are much more happy with the kind of results that are coming through rather than what we saw in the last few weeks, which was really disastrous with how they reacted towards the players and the coach.
But then talking about Rudolph Mensah, 5 goals now. Last season, he was top scorer in the Division 1, combined Division 1, Zone 1A, B, and then also Zone 3, and he scored 27 in 30. And this season, despite the slow start, he has 5 already this season.
Yes, that is not an easy feat, but he looks to partner so well with Aswazi.
Yeah.
And when you look at Swansea in that setup, at the beginning of the season, he was not getting that particular free role we saw him operate in during the Division 1 games last season. But the last few games, I've seen him being liberated, more attacking, contributing to Rudolph's goal scoring. Sure. And all of these things are very important to the whole setup of Swedru All Blacks. If you want to stay in the league, it's important you see your attacker firing here and there.
Interesting. So that was what happened yesterday at the University of Ghana Stadium. It was Wonders losing 2-0 to All Blacks. And now let's go through the fixtures coming up for match day 13. And we're gradually heading towards the end of the first round. And there you have it. Confirmation of that result from yesterday's game played. 11 Wonders losing 2-0 to Swedru All Blacks. And 2 goals coming from Rudolph Mensah. And here today will be Nations taking on Heart of Lions. There'll be more from that game later. But then tomorrow, big games coming up. Ho United will be taking on Asante Kotoko. Then Samatex will also engage Bibieri Gold Stars. Dreams FC will be at home. They will host Bechem United. Vision FC up against Young Apostles. Midiama Sporting Club will also take on Brekum Chelsea. Then Indiana will cross blade with Basakeoli Stars. Then you have Karela United staying up north. They will also host Accra Heart of Oak. So that's with it for match day 13 of the Ghana Premier League. But for now, we have to head towards one episode in GPL history. And we'll be talking about Eric Donko. He formerly played for Accra Hearts of Oak. He also played for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. That's just a bit on him.
Favorite coach you've ever worked under in the Ghana Premier League?
Marcel Didi Dramani.
Best goalkeeper?
Felix Annan.
The best defender?
Ahmed Adams.
Best midfielder?
Jordan Opoku.
And then the favorite or best attacker?
Ahmed Toure.
The toughest player you ever faced in the Ghana Premier League as a defender, your opponent?
Bernard Morrison. He was very robot type of winger. You know, he was very strong, he was very skillful, and you know, that time the rivalry between Kumasi Asante Kotoko and Ash Gold was tough. They were always beating us. I quite remember we played the Super Cup, they beat us. We played the league, a friendly game. They won against us at the Kumasi Sports Stadium. They beat us in the league. He was always a very tough player to play against.
During your time, who was the most funniest member of the team?
Abeku Penison, the funniest.
What was your choicest food before a match?
rice and light soup.
Favorite musician?
I have two. I love gospel, Ghanaian gospel music, especially the worship music. So I'll go for Cecilia Mafo. And also, when you come to the other side, Stonebwoy has always been my favorite. He's a very good friend of mine as well.
Your administrative idol?
Yusuf Chipsa.
And what was your regular pre-game ritual? Before every match? What was the last ritual you did before stepping on the pitch?
Listening to Cecilia Mafo's song from 12:30 p.m. till 2 o'clock inspection time. Hello, I'm Eric Donko, an ex-player for Accra Suffolk, Kumasi Asante Kotoko, Obuasi Ashanti Gold, and Kumasi-based King Faisal. Keep watching the Ghana Premier League.
Welcome back from the break. Still Saturday from the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex in Abrankese, where it's Nations FC taking on Heart of Lions. And it's not just the bragging rights, but an valuable 3 points at stake for these two teams. I'm still here at pitch side with Michael Akomia, and this is the rival of the home side, Nations FC. Torrid season they are having already. They're really struggling, especially after the appointment of their new head coach, Stephen Frimpong Manso. But then they'll be donning their white colors today, and they'll be hoping that that could bring them some luck as they chase 3 points in this game. But Mike, let's just head into the game. Big game coming up for Nations FC. We've seen their struggles this season, despite the fact that they are unbeaten on this ground. They've won 3, they've drawn 3. What do they need to do today to get a maximum point?
I think it's a team struggling for form versus a team that has been really consistent in the Ghana Premier League. For Heart of Lions, as compared to last season, as at match day, before match day 13, they had 21 points, and this season they're having 23 points. That means 2 points better than where they found themselves after match day 12, going into match day 13. For Nations FC, they are far off from where they were last season after match day 12. They had 21 points as at match day 12 last season. This season they're having 13 points. That is a huge drop-off. But I wouldn't blame the team so much looking at the decision-making that have gone on in recent times or in recent months. Changes when you look at the coaching team, from Johnson Smith to Kasim Mengo here and there. They've left. Now there's Frimpong Manso who have just joined the team. Now new players have also joined the team. Old players left. They needed to replace some quality players within the setup, which they failed to do so with the kind of signings that they had. But at home, I don't think it has all been bad. For 3 wins, 3 draws, with the kind of changes that have actually gone on, I think they will take that for now and try and play so well against Heart of Lions, who came here and defeated them last season by 2-0. For Heart of Lions, they are just enjoying themselves, and they've only lost 1 game in the Ghana Premier League this season. That was far away against Berbiani Gold Stars, where they lost by 3-1. They are the team to beat, and they've maintained a certain standard in the Ghana Premier League. And I think it is one team that when you go up against them, you are not only going up against a team that has enough quality when it comes to players, but mentally, this is a team that is really tough to beat.
Most definitely. So that's Michael Akomia there with me at pitchside. It's not time to listen to what both coaches are saying. For Nations FC, they have Frimpong Manso, who won the league last season with Bibiani Gold Stars, and he believes that they will have to put in a good shift to win this afternoon.
Coach, it's a very difficult season for you, but the last time Nations won on this very venue was back in 2023 when Simpson scored. What is the strategy going to this game against one of your biggest rivals?
Well, we are in another season, and nations, we know also have their strongest years, and it's been difficult this year, as you said. But then Lions, yes, of course, we know they are a very strong side in terms of. Their coach Bash is one of the coaches I respect so much. Yes, and I have played with him under Gold Stars, and then I know how they also try. They also play. Yes, it's but we also have done a lot of work, and then we hope maybe we will try to turn things down this season.
You are repeating the same starting lineup.
Osman keeping the post for them, and Simpson will be paired by Gripman in the heart of defense for them. And then in midfield, it's a 5 midfield of Chawete, Boche, Bedu, and then also Ano. 6 goals already this season. He's chasing the top scorer, Atakumi. So it's more like the 4-3-2-1 with variations, Michael.
Yes, for Nations FC, it's all about being compact, because when you are coming up, the midfield that Heart of Lions is bringing into this game, you need to have a certain level of intensity. And if you want intensity, I think you can trust a player like Prince Bedu, who has been in stellar form for Nations FC in recent games. The early part of Frimpong Manso's reign saw him on the bench. Definitely he was a starter under coach Kasim Mengo. But under Frimpong Manso, he did not start the first few games, came off the bench in some 2 games, then started the previous 2 games for Nations FC. And you could feel there's some level of intensity in that middle of the park for Nations FC. And it has got them well balanced to make sure that they match up against any opponent that they meet in that midfield.
It's now time to switch over to the away side. We have to listen to their head coach, Bashir Hayford. He is a 2-time GPL winner, and he has this to say ahead of the game.
Coach, it's been an intriguing season for you, especially at home, but away it's been difficult grinding the result. In the last 5 away matches, you've just won 1, drawn 4, and it's been difficult. How are you approaching today's game?
Well, we have been approaching all the away matches the same way. We don't have any extraordinary preparation. And as you said, I think the word is not result. It is win. We go away, by all means we get a result, because 3 results. Win, draw, or lose. We go, we get the result, but we don't get the result we want. That is the win. And so we have been planning for that for a long time. And I think today, if God permits, we might get it.
Coach, quick one. You have 8 different scorers for this particular season. Will you say that that makes your team unique coming to this game?
Yeah, scoring is whoever comes closer to the pole. That is what I've told them. It is not only the striker who's closer to the pole. Even if you are a central defender, you are close to the pole, you can score. So it is not surprising that about 8 people are scoring. That is what I've told them. Unless, of course, you are far away from the pole. Even that one, too, you can take your chance. When it enters, you have scored. So that is the reason.
talks about the importance of having lots of scorers in the team. But then Lawrence will say 8 clean sheets this season, the most in the division. Alban Hennessy will be the centre backs. Enim will also play at left back, whilst Danso plays from the right hand side. Now, Dougley, Kwanzaa, Ado, the midfield three with a J, and then also Kojo Bing Jr. playing at either flanks. And you have Chancey Freeman, the 22-shirted man, leading the charge for them. Michael.
I think for Lawrence, that is some good record. 8 clean sheets in the Ghana Premier League in the first 12 games. Just maybe he will be hoping that he could add the 9th, making it 9 out of 13. But when you look at the whole defensive shape of Heart of Lions, you wouldn't only credit Lawrence Ejane for the number of clean sheets they've been able to keep.
Yeah.
But if you have an experienced player in the likes of Ebenezer Aban at the back line as the captain of the side, he's trustworthy at the back line, he controls everything up there, and he has made sure that he adds goals at certain points when they need one. And this is a Heart of Lions team that is very difficult to break.
Now, we are talking about Lions, Eche Dougley, and then also Ishmael Ado. How pivotal do you think these two players have been in the double pivot throughout the season for Lions?
I think it's all about the profiles and how they complement each other. For Ishmael Ado, he thinks about getting more on the ball and trying to dictate the pace of the game, trying to break lines. For Eche Dougley, it's all about being a destroyer. At the same time, he's equally technical, just like Ishmael Ado. So the pair complement each other so well. Who stays, who moves, who tackles, who break the lines. These are important aspects of every single midfield pivot. And that is what I think for Nia Jay and Coach Bashi Rayford, they are really going to be happy about that. These players understand the moment, they understand the timings, and they understand what they need to do at any moment in time.
Thank you very much, Michael Akumia. It's now time to join the action. But before then, let's go for a break. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex here in Abrankase, where the atmosphere is absolutely buzzing for this Ghana Premier League Match Day 13 showdown. Today, it's Nations FC crossing blade with Heart of Lions FC in a contest that promises drama, skill, and the kind of football that keeps this league alive with passion. My name is Josiah Okukwe, and together with Victor Kweu, will be your commentators for today. Nations FC, they come into this fixture looking to protect this fortress here in Abrankase. There's a grounds where they've shown so much resilience, chemistry, and the hunger of a team with big ambitions since promotion to the top flight. And with a crowd definitely behind them, today's performance will keep them climbing at the table as the season edges towards its critical midpoint. They come up against an ever-determined Heart of Lions side, second on the league log, a side that may be very far away from home, but never short on fights. They've shown time again that it can upset any opponent on any turf, and they will be eyeing this clash as a perfect opportunity to snatch vital points and build momentum towards a historic title, something that has never happened in the history of the competition. And now the pleasantries will be exchanged before this big fixture here in Abrankase. Nations FC, they've been struggling all season, and under their current coach, they've won just once this season. It came against his former side, the Bearded Gold Stars, when Faisal Chawati bagged his first 2 goals of the season, and they'll be hoping that at least they can grab another win here to place them very well. And that's the setup for Nations FC, where Rabinos Sanon Osman will be in post, Boateng at left back. You have Simpson being partnered by Gripman. Now that double pivot of Botre and Bedu will definitely come to the fore if they will have any chance of winning. And the man who has scored 6 goals so far this season, Ano, will be leading the charge. On the bench is Richard Danso as well as Nathaniel Abe, and they'll be hoping to have their share of hostilities once it comes calling.
Well, definitely very, very exciting stuff from these two sides. Of course, you look at how these two coaches are coming to this particular game, and you watch how both of them have been very determined. For Nations FC, no changes from the previous game. Coach Frimpong Mansour has decided to maintain his previous starting lineup. That tells you he's looking for a bit of consistency in this nation side. Josiah.
Yeah, so that's Frimpong Mansour, the head coach, and our officials for today will be Franklin Akumate. He is going to be the center man. And first assistant is Dansa Peter. Assistant 2 will be Badiana Al-Hassan Halilu, with the 4th official being Sojonu George Efa. And they will be the men to chair this huge game here at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. But then to the away side, this is how they set up. Lawrence Osei will be manning the post and hoping he grabs his 9th clean sheet this season in as many as 13 games. Ruben Hennessy and Alban will maintain their place, while Zenim will be at left back. You have Danso at right back. You have Freeman playing behind or in front of Samuel Kwanzaa.
Yes, for Bando Hearts of Lion, just one change from the previous game, and it tells you that the man who is their top scorer so far this season, Michael Epstein, has been taken off for Ataije to come in, and it tells you what this man on our screens, Coach Bashir Hayford, really wants to do in today's game. You know, ahead of this game, I spoke to him a bit, and he said, look, he is just interested in his players getting the goals. He doesn't care where the goal comes from, whether it is coming from his defensive setup or from the midfield. What he wants to see is goals, and I think that this season they've been very wonderful in terms of finding the back of the net.
8 different scorers already for Heart of Lions, and it gives you an indication that whenever they want to get the goal, they might not just be looking at the front line, but then the goal could certainly come from anywhere. And that's Razak Simpson, the leader of this nation's team, really led with so much leadership qualities. He's led like a true leader for them. And last season, they came very close, Victor. They came very close to winning it until the final day defeat at the hands of Heart of Lions. The team they face here this afternoon, hoping that what happened, or the story that was recorded a couple of months ago on match day 34, wouldn't repeat itself here.
definitely they really dented their chances of winning last season's Ghana Premier League, finished on 57 points. I mean, quite exciting stuff, but this season they are just struggling to even make the point at the moment. 13 points at the moment, and you know, interestingly, it looks like a fairy tale. They are having just 13 points as well. 13th position, 13 points. That is the story of Nations FC this season.
Such an unwanted story, Nations FC, since their promotion to the top flight in the 2023-24 season. They've really been a tough nut to crack, especially on this turf. Just losing 4 times since their promotion to the top flights here. A place where they call a fortress. And with the stakes high, the weather perfect, and the stage set, will Nations FC unleash something special in front of their home faithful, or will Heart of Lions roar their way to victory on match day 13?
We'll talk about this referee, such a top referee, and I understand what he can do in this game.
So we just wait for referee Franklin Akumate to get us going, and there he does. Blows the whistle for the commencement of this match day 13 fixture. Second game of match week 13 yesterday at the University of Ghana Stadium. The first game was played where 11 Wonders were on the losing side against Swedro All Blacks by 2-0. But then it's all to play for in this particular fixture. Now, 2 teams who actually went toe-to-toe for the title last season. But this season, it looks like Nations FC are really struggling to find some air, or breath of fresh air. But it's our first corner kick here, taken to the far post, but then headed out by Ruben Hennessy. Does well to find Ishmael Ado, but referee says that ball had crossed the line, and it's a throw-in.
Well, definitely just, I mean, for Bando Hearts of Lion, the men to really watch out the back could be the likes of Hennessy, Ebenezer Aban, Enim, and of course Dansu. These are quality players we need to be looking out for in this game. If Bando Hearts of Lions can nest any point from this game, you would have to look at their team sheet and look forward to these particular players. And you know, the exciting stuff for Nations FC is that the last time they won on this very term, it was from a central defender, their skipper of the side, Razak Simpson, that gave them that needed victory somewhere in 2023.
So throw it to Nations FC. They've made an earlier incursion, resulted in a corner kick, but now they'll push forward again. And Nations FC will win another throw-in in an attacking position. You can see Mark Williams Boateng playing at right back today. He will be supported at the right-hand side of attack by Brandon Enchisapon, who gets the ball now. But then that was some clearance there from Enim Besmak.
Well, absolutely. You need to get the likes of Sapon, get it into the final third of Bando Hearts of Lion. If Nations FC want to make it count in this game, you need such players. You need the likes of Botchway, Beidou, who is another quality player, and a lot to be dependent on him, especially in the midfield, where he has to take the game by the scruff of the neck and ensure that he distributes the passes for his forward men to hatch onto.
Right, so it's Heart of Lions now in attack. Chauncey Freeman, who has drifted a bit wide to the left-hand side. Freeman back to Ado. Ado will find Ruben Hennessy. A long one, crossfield, trying to find the run of Besmak Ado. Yes, Enim does well, but then he's been beaten to that one by Mark Williams Boateng. And Chauncey Freeman will win the second ball again, and it's Heart of Lions in a dangerous area, a cross into the box. But then it's cleared infield, and danger isn't averted. A shot, but that's a feeble one, and that will go out for a goal kick to Nations FC.
Well, not the best of final touch, but again, it's an exciting play from Bando Hearts of Lion. Just look at that killer that was coming from the left-hand side of the foot of the Liberia International, Chauncey Freeman. And again, he was looking for his top man inside the box of Nations FC. Didn't get them, but that's a lovely strike from outside of the box. And again, Nations needs to be on the outlook.
Nations currently 13th on the league log. At this point last season, they had accumulated over 20 points, which tells you the drop in quality and performance this season, Nations FC, and that's one of the reasons why they brought in coach Stephen Frimpong Manson to turn things around. But it's really been a very difficult task so far since taking the job. Mark Williams now finds Brandon Aintree. Brandon Aintree with a long one, trying to locate his teammate there, but that ball a bit overhit. And the goalkeeper, Lawrence Osei, will gather. But then Heart of Lions now in possession. Danso does well. And the ball is lost again. Nations FC. It's getting cagey in the middle of the pitch now. A bit scruffy from both teams, but game yet to settle. Ano will have his first touch of the game. He's been dispossessed. Oh, lovely play by Enim to Arban. Arban will find Ishmaelado. Now to his goalkeeper.
Jose, I definitely know that at the back line, certainly it is one man Kpando Hearts of Lion will be looking out for anytime there are such spaces, and is the experienced skipper Ebenezer Arban.
All right, so ball into the box now. Cleared, but then half cleared, and referee says it's a free kick to Kpando Hearts of Lions. Paul Ateje clipped there, very close to the edge of the box. This could be worrying times for Nations FC, a side that are yet to lose on the set this season. In 6 games, they've won 3 times, they've drawn 3 times. But then that was the incident there.
Again, that is quite, I mean, painful, isn't it? Just look at it. But it's a big chance there for Kpando Hearts of Lions, and it's a very, very advantageous position. And Nations, once again, would have to defend their line, but for Kpando Hearts of Lions, it's a big, big opportunity for them to see if they can take the lead.
So free kick to Kpando Hearts of Lions in a very, very promising area, and Razak Simpson will try, and coordinate the defensive line of Nations FC, because they have a dangerous ball to deal with. Heart of Lions. There you have Enim right behind that ball. And then also Yao Danso. Would it be the out-swinging Yao Danso or the in-swinging cross from Enim? And then some heckling there, and referee Franklin Akumate will have a word with the 2 players being involved. But then the whistle goes, the cross, and it eludes everyone, and it's a goal kick for Nations FC.
That's a heavy kick, isn't it? I mean, they should have done better on that occasion, but again, take nothing away from this Kpando Hearts of Lion side. Just look at the delivery into the box again. Well bent, looking for the far post, but again, fails to reach anybody in that Begandi shirt.
So it's still goalless here at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex, where Nations FC take on Kpando Hearts of Lions, who certainly have got their eyes on the prize, a prize they've never won before. That's the Ghana Premier League title. Last season, they came very close. They finished 2nd. And their last game of the season was a 2-0 win away here. And they'll be hoping that they could replicate that same performance that got them all 3 points here in a game where Kwanzaa, who is featuring, scored, and then also Sidof Asante was on the score sheet for them. Match the 34 fixture last season. That saw them finish 2nd in the league. But there they go again. Ishmaelado, that pass wouldn't travel to its intended destination. And Arban should be careful now. But then lovely, and they're exuding so much confidence now. Kpando Heart of Lions, Ruben Hennessy will just move forward a bit. The long one over the top, trying to find the run of Paul Ateje, but Razak Simpson steps in brilliantly to avert that danger. And then ball quickly gone out for a throw-in to Nations FC.
Such a very calm figure at the back. Razak Simpson, you can say, not very excited about how his colleagues are marshalling things at the back. They are putting pressure on themselves. The basic things, they are not doing it. They are inviting so much ball from Kpando Hearts of Lion, and they need to be very careful there.
All right, so it's Ano who gets onto that ball, checks onto the right, but then he has about 3 or 4 Heart of Lions players around him, and they'll deal with that danger. Danso does it brilliantly. Dogli will go back again. It looks like Heart of Lions are enjoying possession now in the opening minutes of this game. They've been the aggressors so far. They've made some brilliant entries into the attacking third, but it still remains goalless here. Ebenezer Arban
This is what he's trying to do. He's taking his time to scan the area and look out for the possible outlet. Once again, in terms of outlet, the right-hand side has been a very, very explorable outlet for them, if you ask me, Josiah.
All right, so that's Echedogley, who clips his opponent then. Just look at that. Echedogley left it a bit late on Isaac Boche. Boche today partnering Prince Bedu as a double pivot for Nations FC. But they have injury concerns. You talk about Nations FC because in this game, they've only paraded 2 centre-backs. That's 2 natural centre-backs. And they are the starters, Oko Gripman as well as Razak Simpson. And any injury at all to these 2 players could be very, very worrying for the head coach from Paul Manson, who's really complained about the lack of fitness of other centre-backs in the ranks for Nations FC. But Heart of Lions will break away. Echedogley, neatly done, skips, passes marker, finds Inim, best mark. Inim will move to Chauncey, back to Echedogley. And it's Heart of Lions now working their way gradually. And it's 10 minutes gone so far here at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. Nations FC still drawing against Heart of Lions, but Hennessy with a very tricky ball, but it's Razak Simpson who stops him in his tracks, and quickly they will transition from defense to attack now. It's Nations now, but that step over not well executed.
Well, just certainly let's go back to the previous battle. Well, your take on from here, because it looks like Nations FC are trying to approach the final 10.
So that's a long ball from Prince Bedu. Quite a disappointing ball. That's never, ever beaten Lawrence Osei, out of the best shot stoppers this season in the Ghana Premier League. He's really made a name for himself as the most trusted pair of hands for Heart of Lions now. And look destined and so ambitious as they chase their first ever top flight title. And for Heart of Lions, their last 5 away games, they are yet to pick up any victories at all. On match day 4, it was a goalless draw at the Barbara Sports Stadium against Kumasi Asante Kotoko. They also held Accra Hearts of Oak to a goalless stalemate a week later on match day 5. Then they lost on match day 6. So they had to play 3 consecutive away games on match day 4, 5, and 6. And the defeat came at the BBNE Dance Park, where they lost in a game where many believe they played so well. And on match day 8, they drew 1-1 against All Blacks in Swedro. And then on match day 11, it was a 2-2, a pulsating game at the Nia J. Kraku Sports Stadium. So Lions currently winless in their last 5 away games, and they'll be hoping to break that jinx. But then it's Nations, the home side, that are on the ascendancy now. Emmanuel Arnaud will drop back to Mark Williams, Boateng back to Arnaud. Arnaud has 1 man to beat, but excellently done defensively by the captain, Ebenezer Arban. And that's a foul a bit late there on Gripman.
Well, certainly that's a wrong route from the experience. I mean, there were a better outlet there. He could have decided to balloon the ball to the far left-hand side, but he decides to go straight, and quite disappointing from him. He could have done better on that occasion.
So Nations FC now, the last 2 minutes, certainly we've seen them having the best possession, but flag goes up. And that chance quickly just erased. Emmanuel Arnaud, you need to be very, very careful. Here's a cheeky customer, Emmanuel Arnaud. 6 goals so far this season for Nations.
Definitely a talisman, isn't it? And I tell you what, look, Nations FC will need to use Arnaud more in this particular game if they want to really get goals going this particular season. Already, Nations have scored 10 goals. He's contributed 6 of that, so it tells you how later he's been up front. It's a bit disappointing that last season's top scorer for them, which is Faisal Chauti, have just had 2 out of his 12 last season, and I think that Arnaud would need to be very, very consistent in terms of scoring, because in the last 268 minutes, he has failed to find the back of the net.
Interesting statistics. The Victor ball cheaply given away by Heart of Lions. Now it's a throw-in to Nations FC, quickly taken. But then again, just no space at all for Brandon Aichi. Just couldn't advance that ball, but it's Ishmael Ado now. The ball to find Yao Danso with a skill, but just couldn't go past his marker there. a bit cagey, quite scruffy. Both teams struggling to find grip there, but then the ball will ricochet off the head of Kojo Obing Jr. and Chelsea Freeman sleeping there will be dispossessed, and Nations FC will have a breather now.
Well, just our two scenarios in what have just happened in the last few seconds out the mouth of Nations FC. But if you are Kpando Hearts of Lion fan watching that spectacle, you'll be very excited because it looks possible that they were going to get a goal. But if you're a Nation supporter, definitely it will be a lot of heart-wrenching moment for you. But again, it tells you the dominancy of Kpando Hearts of Lion in this game. They have been ruthless. They've been doing the right things. They just want to get onto the score sheet. And I think that Coach Basel Hereford side is really, really delivering the taxes he told them coming to the game.
It's Brandon H now on his bike, but he'll be stopped there. And good press there by Heart of Lions to win over possession. Lawrence Osei now has Ishmaelado in space. Now back to the captain of the side. Ebenezer Alban, back to Ishmaelado. And Heart of Lions will quickly want to make an entry into the third half. Ishmaelado back on the ball now. And no Nations FC player trying to close him down whatsoever. Still Ishmaelado trying to play that crossfield pass to his teammate, but it stopped, and there's a long ball into space now. And Emmanuel Ador does well, shows so much determination now. It's dangerous, but then that ball will go straight to Ruben Hennessy, and that was could have been a big chance for Nations FC.
Big chance for them again, and he's an experienced man who will always be at the center of it. Emmanuel Ador, but look at another chance.
And there's a chance for Freeman, hit it! And there is the opening goal for Kpando Heart of Lions here at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. Just out of nothing. A second ago, they were defending, and Chauncey Freeman pounces on that loose ball to give the Kpando lads the lead here. Heart of Lions 1, Nations 0.
Exciting stuff, isn't it, from Kpando Hearts of Lions? Look at the build-up from Bismarck, and he swept it in. Razak Sampson have a touch, not the best of that, forced to Chauncey Freeman, and just look at the quality of the hits there. And absolutely, Osman Rano cannot do anything about it, but again, it is disappointing defending from the home side, Nations FC, and this man have his third goal of the season.
Chauncey Freeman, the scorer for Kpando Heart of Lions, coming into this game, he scored twice, and this will be his third. And it looks like Nations FC would have to do it the hard way now. They would have to come down from a goal if they stand any chance of maintaining or keeping that unbeaten record. But a shot, and that took a wicked deflection, but fortunately for Heart of Lions, a skewed way off target, and it's now Nations FC. That's a heavy touch, a poor one in fact from Boche, but manages to keep it in. Sapon, but then that ball will roll out, and the referee says it's Ebenezer Alban now on the turf, who seems to be in some pain. There's a corner. That's the final decision by the referee, Victor.
Absolutely. So, Kpando Hearts of Lions leading Nations by a goal to nil. But, you know, that would have been such a lovely response if Nations FC has replied that particular goal by the Gary Ricochets of somebody. But, look, it's been a game that is promising so much action here, and we are really seeing it.
Corner taken, heads go up. But then Heart of Lions will clear their lines quickly. Ball falls to Kwame Boakye. Again, nothing productive. And it's Sapon now. Checks onto the left for the hit. And that will sail wide into the skies.
Not the best of it, isn't it? That is a bit disappointing kick from Brandon there. He could have done better, but again, the technique in terms of hitting that one, not the best. But Alban equally struggling to be on his feet. He's back on his feet, but again, I think Nations, from the chances they've created in the last 1 minute, they should have at least found one of them at the back of the net.
Chances falling to the home side, who are currently trailing here after 19 minutes. But it's Heart of Lions who could be worried about the fitness now of the skipper, Ebenezer Alban, who seems not to be fine in the last couple of minutes, but he's up. Now it's Nations FC. Brandon, again, another disappointing ball trying to find Faisal Chawate, who keeps drifting in a bit more central from the left-hand side, but Brandon seeing most of the balls for Nations FC in attack.
Absolutely, you know what Faisal Chawate loves to do? He loves to drift from the left-hand side and cut in, and you know, that makes him a bit unpredictable in terms of his movement. But
again, now it's Ano goes past 1-2, but the ball just not tidied up. It's Heart of Lions who now try to break away. Chauncey Freeman, the goal scorer. And referee just gives away a free kick. And just look at that, Chauncey Freeman and that battle there. Yeah, dragging McWilliams onto the turf. But again, Ano fluffing another glorious chance in the space of just a minute. And it could have been 1-1.
absolutely, it's been Nation showmanship in the last 5 minutes after they conceded. It looks like they have just popped out of their cell, and they're now doing everything to see if they can level matters before the halftime break and even see if they can jump into the lead. But again, the man leading their line, Emmanuel Arnold, will need to be a bit clinical up front where he gets most of the chances. I'm just praying that he'll be able to put one of these chances into the back of the net so that we have an open game.
Still 1-0 to Heart of Lions, the away side in this fixture. Emmanuel Arnold having a couple of chances, he'll fall his way, but nothing clinical from the second top scorer in the division this season. He's got 6 goals. The Australian Atakumi by 1 goal. And that earlier incident.
Well, just look at it again. Show of strength there from Chauncey Freeman, but again, you know that the Liberia International has always got some strength there. Very experienced player who is the vice captain of the Liberia national team. In terms of international experience, he's seen it every time, anytime he happens to be donning the jersey of his national team there, and it's not shocking that he comes into the Ghana Premier League with the same experience and tries to defend every ball that is in front of him, and I'm just loving it here in Abrankesi.
Interested. It's Nations FC now. Just on their bikes now. And a cut back into midfield. And the hit from a distance. But then off the foot of Emmanuel Arnold, who is struggling this afternoon against the centre-back pairing of Hennessy. And then also Alban. He will be delighted to increase his tally in this game. But a lovely flick. But then the ball again. Trying to find Brandon Sarpong at the right-hand side as a 1v1 against Enim. And that ball ricochet off the foot of Enim. Again, a tussle. Back to McWilliams. A cross into the box. But then not cleared. And the push by Faisal Chawate. And the free kick will be given to Heart of Lions. Respite for them.
Well, you look at what Nations FC are doing currently in this particular game. It looks like their main target man up front seems to be Emmanuel Arnold. And you watch it carefully. Just look at this one that was bent inside there. Drops to the ground, but there was nobody in a white shirt to, just tap it home again. Forced to Heart of Lion. And it's a big hit inside. But I was just talking about the fact that Emmanuel Arnold, anytime he receives the ball, you can see traffic of the Ghana shirts all over him, and I'm thinking Coach Frimpong Manson should be looking for another outlet, especially where Sarpong is better. He needs to be spoken to that, look, you need to bury the chances that can't be away, because the leading top scorer for them at the moment is being sandwiched in some traffic.
McWilliams Boateng with a long ball, trying to find a knot. And this time, referee awards a free kick to Nations FC in a promising area. That's for Shet Tagen there, and Ano Enenimi going toe-to-toe on that occasion. Exhibition of strength there. But it's Ano who wins the sympathy of the referee, and Heart of Lions will have their lines to clear now. Looking at the position of this free kick.
Absolutely. We're hoping to see what Nations are going to do with this game.
Oche takes it. But then the last ball, or the last touch coming off, Ebenezer Alban appeals for a handball there by Nations FC. You can see the players protested, but that was a cross initially from Isaac Boche. And that was a ball. That should have been a goal kick.
Absolutely, I think came off somebody. But again, the referee, who is very closest to the action, feels that it is a corner kick. But you know, some of this incident in the game cannot be taken out. But it's the Nation fans who feel that it should have gone their way.
It's now Nations FC with Kwame Boache left alone to do the defender now. Could play himself into trouble, but then manages and maneuvers his way out of that. Wins a free kick for Nations FC.
Absolutely. This now, just look at it again. Kojo Benjinia. I mean, very, very physical player. Of course, he's got a muscles, he's got a physique, but it's a big chance for Nations.
So it's Nations FC under pressure, trying to defend the fortress. Since their promotion to the top flight 2 seasons ago, Nations FC have managed to lose just 4 games on this turf, and all these 4 defeats came last season in the 2024-25 season, where the first team ever to beat them here was Bekum Chelsea. It was a 1-0 defeat on match day 12. Then 7 weeks later, Young Apostles also keep more misery with a 2-1 defeat. And then on match day 20, it was a 1-0 defeat to Aduana FC. And then the last defeat to date came on match day 34, where they lost to Heart of Lions by 2-0 on the final day.
But you care to know the last time Nations FC won on this particular turf? Let me just, the flash score says that 10th October 2023, and that goal was scored by Razak Simpson.
Yeah, and now it's Ano who's left alone to hold up play now, does that perfectly. Brings in Brandon. Ano will get in front of that. No, he doesn't. But still Nations FC, ball cleared. And Ishmaelado will gather for the visitors.
That's another promising move from Nations FC again. I've always told you they love to use their elite marksman, Ano, and I think that has been very, very fruitful up front. The only thing is that he has not been able to slide the ball at the back of the net. But if I'm coach Frimpong Manso, look, I'll be looking at my other channels where you have Faisal Charity and, of course, Sapon in this particular game. You need to talk to them. At least the big man himself has been in some serious traffic in this game by Bando Hearts of Lions defense, because they know that any ball that drops at his feet, he can make good use of it. And you can just say it happening in the last 26 minutes. It's been Ano, and it's just been fruitless.
26 minutes played here at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex in Brankase. And as Nations FC trailing on this match day 13 encounter to Heart of Lions. Goal scored by Chauncey Freeman, and the referee Franklin Akumate whistles for a cooling break. But tactically, Victor, what do they need to do now? Heart of Lions seems to have their tails up, and we've spoken about their ambitions to win the title this season, which is still very well on course. And a victory for them will see them occupy top spot heading into the games set to be played tomorrow. But you can see Daniel Nieje, the assistant head coach, also issuing some instructions, as well as the assistant of Nations FC.
Yeah, I tell you what, the Bando Hearts of Lions deserve all the plaudits in terms of what they've done. A team that was on the verge of being relegated the last 2 seasons. Last season finished second with 60 points. This season already, in just 12 matches already, they have been able to amass 23 points already, and it tells you the ambition of the team. They are very difficult to break at their den, that is in Kando, but away, that is where the problem has been. And you see, if they really want to win the league, it means that they must start picking points away from their home ground, and I think that is the way to win the league, especially from experience and the teams that have won it. But look, in this particular game, take nothing away from them. I think they are doing the basic things, and it's Nation who must do a lot.
We are back to action here. And it's Nations FC now with Prince Bedu. Tries to find Emmanuel Ano. Just couldn't control that. Gives away possession cheaply to Heart of Lions, who bump forward now with Danso Obin Jr. there to support, but he finds Echedogli. Echedogli will move a bit narrow central to Kwanzaa.
Well, let me tell you the story of Echedogli. He's been very quiet so far in this game in the last 28 minutes, but this was a player that was discovered somewhere in Akosombo, played Akosombo FC, came to Banana Inn. Once again, a top talent, went outside for lots of trials, and, you know, a breakdown due to some agency staff. He's back here in the Ghana Premier League, and I tell you what, he has hit the road running. Man of the Match nomination in September, and it tells you the story of that young chap, 21-year-old.
That's Echedogli, the three-shirted man for Heart of Lions. He's been a pivotal player for them this season in the league. Echedogli recently received a call-up to the local Black Stars camp as well. But then Ano will win possession. It's Brandon now. Ano makes the run. But Brandon will still hold on to that. Finds Isaac Boche. Razak Simpson to the left-hand side. Kwame Boache would go for a long one into the box, but then Echedogli will be there on time to deal with that ball. Nations FC have got a throw in now. Taken quickly by Kwame Boache. Back to Bedu. Back to Boache. Finds Chawete. The cross into the box, but then parried away. And a smart save there by Lawrence Osei, who still has his sheets clean in this game.
Wonderful save there from Banu Hearts of Lion, shot stopper. Just look at the way he managed to tip it off the Yoni net there. Tells you of his story. Just look at the movement here and look at the position of the players. Taking a back there, but again, a shot stopper at the right place, always to tip it off when it matters most.
Strongest right arm to just flap that one out of play for a Nations FC. Corner kick set to be taken. Taking it to the box, the header, again, another good save by Lawrence Osei, who is bent on getting his 9th clean sheet in this game. It's early stages though, but he's really pulling some wonderful saves, Victor.
That is a masterclass, isn't it? And this is what we expect from your first choice goalkeeper. And you see, Lawrence Osei has been a bit consistent from last season. This season, he's beginning to show us that he is
the corner taken, Bedu with a cross, but then with his unfavorite right foot. Just couldn't hit that one with precision. Bodies in the box hoping to attack that. And the chap in your shots now, Faisal Chawete. What a quiet season he's having. Last season he was the first player to 10 goals. And it's 30 minutes down here at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. Stellar Saturday, Ghana Premier League, match day 13. And as Nations FC, they continue to trail in this big fixture, but it is Chauncey Freeman, ball into space, manages to get that one under control. And it's Mark Williams who guards him. Chauncey Freeman will switch play, finds Kwanzaa, dummies. Kwanzaa still in possession. Echedogli, a referee whistles for a free kick to Nations FC after Kwanzaa was adjudged to have used his arm illegally.
That's a life wire, isn't it, for Nations FC? Big save there coming from the referee without the whistle. But just look at the movement again from Kwanzaa. Lovely ball to stand on it. Push it to Echedogli, but again the referee, Franklin Akumate, always very close to it, and something was happening.
It's now Brandon Sapon just racing down the right-hand side of attack for Nations FC. The cut back again, dummies again. The ball, could this be the equalizer bar? The flag goes up, and the celebrations will be cut short. Flag quickly gone up, and it was the referee, Dosapita, there.
Well, I told you, certainly this is the man who needs to be doing the business. Sapon, just look at it, how he was able to beat Bismarck him there.
Was he offside?
Absolutely, a bit confusing there, but you look at it, but again, it would not just count, isn't it?
Prince Bedu won't have the chance to celebrate that goal, but it's Heart of Lions now who could punish Nations FC for that call. As Abid Junior tries to go for the spectacular. It's Paul Ateje trying to hit that one, with that lovely spectacular kick, but
certainly the former House of Folk man is such a danger, and certainly that's Ateje instead of not Obin Junior. But again, I'm just telling you, Nations FC, they are so very slow in recovering any time they rush to the final third of Banu Hearts of Lion, and that is where the problem seems to be, because you see, Bashir Forsyth love to drop the ball behind them, and that is where the trouble is, when you have Freeman and the likes running onto it.
Robin Herdese threads one through, finds Yao Danso. Can he keep that one in play? No, he can't. A ball a bit overhead by the Heart of Lions centre-back. And Yao Danso will not be able to keep that one in play. But we speak about the consistency of Bashir Hayford's selection, and each and every time it looks like it's just a mundane routine for him. It's the same setup, and you can always praise his consistency, Victor, can't you?
Charlie, the answer is very simple to facing the puzzle. Has to be consistent as a coach, Josiah has been consistent as a coach.
I believe he has.
Absolutely. He's been at the helm of affairs in the last two seasons for them and tells you that he knows the strength and the weakness of all of these players. Reason why he decided to go with the best starting 11 every week in, week out.
So consistency always been key for Heart of Lions. That's a Chidogli, the corporate now, tripping Isaac Boche. But Nations FC will not be able to just advance that ball into the final third. And it's now a lovely ball to Poateje, but the flag again will go up to deny Heart of Lions what could have been the second goal for them. And just look at the run from Poateje. And another disappointing ball, flag going up there.
Tell you what, Nations FC defense have been their death trap, of course, in this particular game. It's been a lot of opening in the last 34 minutes. There is no communication at the back, but again, you expect the leader, Razak Simpson, to do a bit of communication there. But Ateje was trying to be the ninth player to score in this encounter, because after Chancellor Freeman scored, he became the 8th player to score in games involving Nations FC and Banu Hearts of Lions. Interesting, isn't it?
Lovely skill by Brandon. Holds it, the ball over the bottom. Oh! And that is the equalizer for Nations FC. They didn't need their player to have the final touch. It was Heart of Lions doing all the work at both ends of the field. And this will go down as a disappointing own goal. And it's Ruben Hennessy who just heads into his own net to tie the game.
Oh, it's a dagger through his own heart, isn't it? Just look at that ball from Sapa once again, but this time around it stretches. Even Lawrence Osei, who couldn't get a hand to it as he's drift towards his left-hand side. But I tell you what, Hennessy, for all the hard work in the last 35 minutes, it's not the valiant.
It's 1-1 here at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. What a game we have on our hands. Ruben Hennessy just nodding home into his own net. Quite disappointed, because you have Nations FC coming into this game, having scored 10 goals, but this is the first time they benefit from an own goal this season in the top flight. Injury concerns already for coach Frimpong Manson, and that's Ruben Hennessy.
And interestingly, Josiah, this is also the first own goal in a game involving Nations FC and Hearts of Lions there.
So you look at it will be flashed now to Poateje for descent. He's complaining, overly complaining, and the referee, Franklin Akumate, having none of that. What a face. And that's the look on the face of the Heart of Lions, Gaffer. What a career he's had in the top flight. A confirmation of that yellow card to Poateje, who was booked for decent.
And that makes it 14 yellow cards in this particular encounter for Banu Hearts of Lions and Nations FC. It tells you that the cards really does not flow in games involving the two sides. But today, I mean, look, we've done 37 minutes and we are now seeing the first card. It tells you how tactical it's been.
The cross, the header, and that is just wide off the post. Kojo Obin Jr., this is his first real action in this game. The former Hearts of Oak player, also hoping to get on the score sheet already this season, but that was a lovely cross again from Inim. It was this cross earlier in the game that caused havoc, that led to Chancellor Freeman's goal, and he's at it again. The Heart of Lions now will regroup and hope to move forward with their goalkeeper back to Ruben Hennessy, who's been on the score sheet, but this time against his own side. Hennessy, Poateje will just hop on that. He's been chased by Kwame Boache. Does well to keep it in play to Yao Danso. And that is a very, very disappointing ball from Yao. And we're asking what Heart of Lions are doing now. It looks like they are just sleeping and they keep losing all the 50-50 balls.
Yeah, they've been taken aback a bit shocked to consider that particular own goal. It has taken the venom out of their sting in terms of how they were trying to approach this game in the last 37 minutes. But you see, it happens in games. They need to find a way to motivate themselves and get back at it.
That ball was aimed at Chauncey Freeman. A good job done by Oko Gripman. And that's a long one again. Trying to find Faisal Chawete, who scored double figures last season for Nations FC. One of the players who actually played a pivotal role in their title charge until they were docked points after failing to complete a game at the Ampane AAK Sports Arena against Basake Holy Stars, and eventually missing out on the top 4 finish. But the shot goes through the wall. It's blocked. Echedogli now at the end. Echedogli wrestled to the ground, but referee says play should continue. Brandon with a long one, trying to find Yawano, and it's Ebenezer Abad, and that will just sail wide of the post.
Ambitious hit from Yawano, isn't it? But again, you can understand him. Just look at the time the ball was served to him. He was just the only man in the white shirt up front, sandwiched between 3-4 began. So by the time his colleague had arrived, and set too late, and he decides to go for the long hit. But I think that was always going to be rising with the technique he used to execute it.
Approaching 40 minutes at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. Nations FC drawing 1-1 against Kpando Heart of Lions. Had so much action here, but it's Mark Williams to Gripman. Gripman with a long one, trying to find the run of Emmanuel Ano, but that ball will be just collected by Lawrence Osei, who would not be leaving here with a clean sheet after conceding Van Ongo. Goal scored by his own centre-back, Robin Hennessy, but it's now Heart of Lions. Yao Danso. Danso will cut in a bit, finds Kojo Abin Jr. The return ball a bit disappointing. It's now Kwame Boache. Again, and you ask why they keep resorting to the long balls, Victor, with Emmanuel Ano the target.
Well, it tells you that it's just one thing. The midfield is very crowded for Kpando Hearts of Lion, because they are winning every battle in the middle, especially where Emmanuel Ishmael has been pitched this afternoon. You can see he do most of the distribution. Even Echedogli is not even getting it, and it just tells you that if you have a quality player in Ishmael Aldo, maybe the midfield draws will be very difficult. What can you do? Go for the flanks, and that is what Nation is trying to do.
All right, so a very, very scruffy ball there. Our referee says that should be a goal kick to Nations, who will quickly take that one. They'll look to just attack, but the ball cleared again. Gripman to Boateng. Boateng will find Prince Bedu. And it's Boche now. Zach Simpson. Kwame Boache to Chawete, and it's Nations FC now moving the ball around. Not in a hurry to make an entry, but in the long one, and will be cleared. Ball to Chancellor Freeman, the goal scorer for Heart of Lions. Echedogli will find Kwanzaa. Ball over the top, and it's Freeman racing down now, and he's being policed by Simpson. Freeman checks onto the left. Can he get that? A lovely and excellent defense by the Black Stars player, Zach Simpson, who does so well to avert that danger.
That is terrific, isn't it? Terrific stuff from the skipper of the side, leading by example. Look, shows class there. Takes the time to just bring that ball out of the front of Chancellor Freeman, who on any day could have option for the target, but again, it's just a classical defending that stopped him in his stride.
It's Emmanuel Ano now. We'll check onto his right foot. He has 3 players just trying not to allow him hit that ball. It's Brandon Sapon. Brandon Sapon has a name to beat. Checks onto the right, but another disappointing ball into the box, which will be dealt with by Arban.
Very feeble hit, isn't it? Feeble hit into Lions box there. He could have done better. Maybe the angle was very difficult for him to just hit it into the final third or into the 18 yard. But that was, look, there are lots of options available. He could have decided to cut back a bit and decide to start it all over again, but he decides to go for the shot, and it's not the best.
We are approaching 45 minutes here. Stellar Saturday in the Ghana Premier League. Second game of match day 13. And it's Nations FC. Still invisible at home this season. 3 wins, 3 draws here. And as it stands, they are drawing for the 4th time this season. And then there's still lots of time to play for. Here, it's Prince Bedu now. Finds Kwame Boache. To Chawete. Back to Bedu. Chawete will move to Suhini. And it's Boache now. The cross into the box, but then headed away by Aban. And a late nudge there. And the right call by referee Franklin Akumati.
I think that Prince Bedu rushed on it too quickly. Just look at it from Botchway. That was a lovely ball that was floated into the 18-yard. The experienced defender, Ebenezer Aban, always got his hand fixed to it, headed it out. But I think that Nations could have done better with that opportunity, if not for how Bedu rushed onto it.
So together with his centre-back pair, Robin Hennessy, they've kept 8 clean sheets. No clean sheet for them this season, though. So it's a long ball. They're just seconds away from the 45th minute mark. By any added on time, we could be heading into the halftime break anytime soon. A confirmation of 3 minutes.
Well, it tells you if it stays this way, it means that in the last 6 game for Pando Hearts of Lions, a possible 18 point. They've just picked 5 on the road, and it's a bit disappointing, isn't it? But here's Echedogli.
There's Echedogli now. Lovely ball. Just squeezed it into the box. It's Apartheid against the side net. Again, Heart of Lions moving forward, hoping to get the lead before the halftime whistle goes.
That is the mentality of a winning team, isn't it? You go down, but you must fight back. And you see what they are doing at the moment. A bit of switch between Ataije, and you see he decides to use the left-hand side, but again, not the best of option. Such a difficult angle to execute that shot, and Nation staying in.
Suhini with a long one, trying to find the run of Faisal Chawete. But he'll be bitten to it by Yao Danso. Now the tussle there. But a free kick will go the way of Nations FC, and that's Gripman. It's been decent. Always the wingman to Razak Simpson in this setup. I used to play for Golden Kick. Last season, they were in the MTN FA Cup final and lost to Kumasi Asante Kotoko by 2-1. That's where he grabbed the attention of the top sides, but then he landed here.
Well, it tells you a quality pairing for Nations FC at the back, isn't it? Simpson himself, always a skipper, and a Gripman who
That's
came
from...
from...
Gripman, formerly of Great Olympics. So his brother is Ate Gripman, who is currently playing for Samatics.
Absolutely, you understand.
Yeah.
Now, to pair those two players at the back tells you of the quality of this centre-back for Nations FC. But the issue is, yes, maybe Gripman, it's too early for him. He's just joined this nation setup. You need a bit of time to settle in, and I think that is what is having a huge toll on the nation's defense.
So that's Oko Gripman, the twin brother of Ate Gripman, who formerly played for Golden Kicks. A better physical play than Obin Jr. gives away a free kick to Nations FC, who quickly take that. Brandon Sapon, the busiest player in the Nations FC setup this afternoon. Move to the left-hand side, fine. Kwame Boache to Suhini Sulemana. Drop that to Bedu, and it's Suhini now. Lovely ball into space. It's now Ano hits that one. That was so wide again, and they keep knocking on the doors of Heart of Lions. It's just a matter of time for Nations FC.
Lovely shot from Ano, isn't it? But it was always going to drift. Look at it, maybe because of the direction of the hit as well. But again, not the best of hits there, and it was always bending away from the goalpost of Pando Lions.
So 45 minutes done and dusted here at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. It's been an entertaining end-to-end stuff. Chauncey Freeman putting Heart of Lions ahead with a lovely low strike. But then minutes later, Ruben Hennessy heading into his own net to draw level for Nations FC, who are still unbeaten here this season. Match day 13 of the Ghana Premier League. And after halftime, it is Nations FC 1, Heart of Lions 1. halftime at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. As Nations FC, the home side, drawing 1-1 against Heart of Lions. Chauncey Freeman getting a goal for Heart of Lions before an own goal from Ruben Hennessy leveled matters here in this match day 13 fixture. I've been joined at pitch side by the assistant coach of Heart of Lions, Daniel Nieje. Daniel, were you disappointed, that you just couldn't take that lead into the halftime break?
Yeah, I would say yes. I thought we were holding them up to go for the first half. Before the second half, we can plan another setup, but I didn't go. But that's football, so you have to go in and then plan and then come again the second half.
Right after the goal, your levels drop. What accounted for that?
Sometimes it's like that. The concentration will come down because they were not expecting it, and then it came. So I think second half we are going to come up very strong and then do well in the second half. Thank
you very much. Wish you all the best of luck. So that's Daniel Nieje, the assistant coach of Bando Heart of Lions, and he believes that the energy levels dropped here. It does happen, but then they'll be hoping to get back onto the turf with reinvigorated energy for the second 45. I'm now here with Abuaji Da Costa, who is the assistant coach for Nations FC. What a game we've witnessed. It's only been 45 minutes, but so many actions already happened here. But how would you sum up the first half?
Very good game. No doubt, Heart of Lions are a very good team. Got a very good, experienced coach. And we have got a very good, experienced coach. So it's par. But if the boys will do the basic things that they've been taught, you carry the day.
And the long balls to Emmanuel Ado, you look at his height. He's not the tallest, he's not the strongest, but why do you keep floating the balls to him?
We told them that they shouldn't play it higher. They should play it. So they are not sticking to the rules. So I'm sure in the second half, the pep talk will make amends.
Thank you very much for your time and all the best for the second half. So that's Abuaji Da Costa. He's the assistant coach of Nations FC. It's still 1-1 here at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. And Michael Akumia will soon join me, but then it's 1-1, like I said. There's been quite a lot of action in this particular game because we saw Chauncey Freeman scoring for Heart of Lions in the opening 20 minutes, but then later on, after Nations FC worked their socks off, they worked so hard, so hard, they were, rewarded for their hard work, and it was Ruben Hennessy who headed into his own net to make it 1-1 after 45. I'm now here with Michael Akumia, my guest for today. Welcome back, Michael.
Yes, thank you, Josiah.
Let me take your summary of the first half. Have you been impressed with the performance of both sides?
Yes, I think the first half was defined by three things. One, the intensity. I think for Nations FC, the first few minutes was a little bit jittery, but Prince Bedu and Isaac Butcher came into the game, decided to dictate the pace of the game, match the midfield of Heart of Lions in 1v1 situations, especially when Ishmael Ado doesn't have the ball. You look at the midfield of Heart of Lions, and there's one thing I really recognize, that when they don't have the ball, it's only Echedogli who is involved in a lot of tackles. But for Ishmael Ado, a little bit relaxed, for Kwanzaa, a little bit relaxed. That gives Nations FC's midfield a lot of momentum to go in for the second balls and try and push it with the counter
attacks. That was the first goal. Chauncey Freeman, just one lovely ball into the box by Enim from the left-hand side of attack, and then the ricochet forced kindly to him, and all he had to do was to pounce on it.
It all started with Ishmael Ado right here. And I think for him, when he has the ball, it's quite difficult to get it off his feet. He has that particular vision. He has the ability to move into tight spaces, maneuver his way through the press. And he did give one particular pass to Bismarck Enim, and Enim just gave the ball to Chauncey Freeman, and Chauncey Freeman needed to be there to finish it off.
So that was a goal earlier on. But then chances falling to both sides, especially for Nations FC. After conceding, were you satisfied with the response?
I think for Nations FC, it's all about getting in the crosses. But it's about the choice of crosses, either outswing or in-swing. For this particular assist, it was an in-swing. When you go with the outswing, there's Hennessy, there's Ebenezer Amban, and imagine, look at their height against Emmanuel Ano and Faisal Chaute. Definitely, they're always going to be superior. So the ball will always have to be an in-swing cross, and that is what gave them the goal.
But you talk about the goal again, and you're looking at their positioning. They've been flawless and faultless throughout, the first half. But barring that particular moment where there was a lapse in concentration. You believe that was what caused them?
They literally played the Nations FC into the game by giving them a lot of spaces, especially Brandon Entry. On the other part, where he tried to dangle his way through the tight spaces, getting an in swing, and that was really difficult cross to deal with. And for Ebenezer Aban and his experience, for Hennessy and his experience, these are things that happen in football. And I think for them, they will go back, look at it, and they begin to question themselves that why did we allow him in the first place to even get the cross in?
So that was the equalizer. Brandon Sapon, just look at that again.
Yes.
Positioning,
Yes.
problematic. Yes. And would you blame Lawrence to say for his positioning on that occasion?
I think first of all, I have to commend Brandon Entry. You look at how he dazzled his way into that particular space before he got onto the board for the cross. Now you look at him and how he moved, swinged his body, made sure that Ebenezer Aban or Hennessy doesn't get closer to him. Looked forward, saw Emmanuel Arnaud moving into space, decided to get in a pinpoint cross. It's really a dangerous cross at that point. It's either you put it at the back of your own net or Emmanuel Arnaud gets to the end of that particular ball. And I think this is with the brilliance of a player like Brandon Entry, not with the defensive lap of a player like Ruben Hennessy. That was a quality cross in there.
Quality cross, but we are looking at both teams. Yeah, it's squared after the first 45, but what do they need to do, especially with Nations FC, who seem to have some pressure on them, you know, at the side?
I think for Heart of Lions in the first place, they will need to do more off the board. I think off the board, they are not doing much, especially Kwanzaa and Ismail Ado. They are not actually helping Eche Dogley. For Nations FC, they are growing in confidence because they are winning the individual battles, they are winning the duels, they are winning the intensity battles right here on the field. And I think they only need to find Emmanuel Arnaud in the right channels and they'll be there.
But then talk to me about Paul Ateje, who has been carded for dissent, and then also Kwejo Obin Jr. These are two very, very, mercurial attackers, but we've not really seen anything from them today. Have they been, caged, or you just believe that the strategy now or today is not to play through these two players?
I think it's not about going with the long balls or the long passes or the diagonal passes from Heart of Lions. It's all about looking up to the runs of your wingers and putting in wall passes. And that is what has been happening throughout the first half. And I think for Nations FC, they were struggling to deal with it earlier on. But for the latter part, they normally double up on the wingers of Heart of Lions, which has made it very difficult for them to penetrate and get into the loose spaces and shoot from any angle. But for Nations FC, they are really calm. A good last 15 minutes for them. An increased intensity, good positioning, and I think a sense of purpose right there for them.
What should be the pep talk now, especially for Nations FC? This position is an unusual one for them since their promotion to the top flight. They always find themselves in the top 5, top 6, sometimes even top 4. What should Frimpong Manson be saying to these players to try and, revive that lost spirit?
I think this game could be the turnaround for them. And I think winning this game could also propel them to go on a run. 13 points out of possible 12 games, I don't think is really that good. And last season, as at this stage, they had 22 points. So imagine the gap. And
that's
I think when I get to the dressing room, I just have to tell my players, keep on doing what you are doing. We need to get back to some positive results as soon as possible. And I think for the last 15 minutes, he will be encouraged. And when he goes there, he will tell them, no, my guys, keep on doing what you are doing. The goals will come. They've not been short of chances. They've been creating from here. They've been creating from every single angle on the pitch. I think Faisal Chaute was a little bit lost. Came into the game after he stretched his width, opened up the pitch, and they decided to play more diagonal passes into spaces for these players who have enough pace. And for Heart of Lions, I think 1-1, they will be fine. They will believe that, no, let's just be compact, try and keep our momentum, hit them on counter breaks, and just maybe we can get our second goal. But if it is the 1 point, we are fine.
You talk about 1 point, and you talk about a team that's so ambitious that they are aiming for the title. Last season, they were runners-up. This season, they just began the season on a fine form. Talking about Heart of Lions, you think they'll be content with a 1-1 draw, looking at what's at stake for them?
I think they'll be very happy picking up 1 point from here. You see, this is a home-dominant league, and definitely the number of points you accumulate on your home grounds will play a role in how many points you are going to get at the end of the season. For them, they've been able to pick up 1 point in Kumasi against Kotoko. They've been able to pick 1 point against Hearts of Folk. They lost against Bebiani Gold Stars. Now, right here, they won last season by 2-0. If they pick up 1 point, they'll be fine. Because in the second round of the Ghana Premier League, most of these teams will be going to Volta region to face off with them.
Interesting. You look at the lineup of teams that could end up going there.
Yes.
There's Kotoko, there's Hearts,
there's
Gold Stars.
There's Gold Stars.
There's Nations as well.
There's Nations as well.
But then let's talk a bit tactics over here. We've seen the 4-3-3. But then what about those long balls to Emmanuel Arnaud? On 6 goals, he's quite desperate to get a goal. We've seen so many chances falling this way. But have you been impressed with the way the team are trying to find him?
It's the type of long balls that as a midfielder you try to put in for your attacker. Sometimes you decide to go for these long balls that is going to create a duel between the centre back and the centre forward. But sometimes you decide to go with diagonal long balls. That is what I think is going to help Nations FC. If you go direct, there's no way Emmanuel Arnault is winning an area duel against Ebenezer Aban or Ruben Hennessy. These guys are tall. They are that good in the air. So you need to go with the diagonal passes, and that is what I think Isaac Botry did in the last few minutes. Put it into space. Let the two players run for it, and let's see who takes it first. And I think for that, Emmanuel Arnault will be proud of that.
But are we looking at any changes for both sides? Do you think that any of these coaches will be looking at, see, let me just make this tweak and hope that, you know, I take the gamble and it pays off for me?
I think Frimpong Mans will be looking forward to getting an attacker who is stalwart, can match the physical levels of Ruben Hennessy and Ebenezer Aban. But for Nations FC, I think they don't need an old-fashioned centre-back number 9 who will be battling it out with Ebenezer Aban and Ruben Hennessy. They need to keep on going diagonal with their passes, allow the pace to speak for them. But for Heart of Lions, they will need to be very focused, compact, and make sure that these balls that are played into spaces are not utilized by Emmanuel Arnault.
All right, so the home side already out of the tunnel. They're onto the turf, and they are hoping to get roaring here, hoping to get their 4th win this season in 7 games at the Dr. Kwame Kyei Sports Complex. It's still the match day 13 encounter between Nations FC and then also Kpando Heart of Lions. The first half ended 1-1. Let's hope that we can see some more action in the second half right after this break. Welcome back for second half action here at the Dr. Kwame Kyei Sports Complex. It's match day 13 of the Ghana Premier League, and Chancellor Freeman, who scored the first goal of this game, gets us going for Heart of Lions, who will be playing from left to right. It's now Ishmaelado to Eche Dogli, to Kwanzaa. Obin Jr. would love that 1v1 situation, but he stopped there. And right before the second half kicked off, there's confirmation of a yellow card to Coach Bashir Hayford for dissent. He's been complaining and he's gone into the books of the referee, so that will make it 2 yellow cards so far in this game. But now it's Emmanuel Arnault who darts away from Danso. Still Arnault has support from Kwame Boakye. Now into midfield to Isaac Botry. Bedu. Oh, lovely skill there to skip away from 2 players. It's now back to Suhini. Suhini who hits that one. but then off the body of Ebenezer Aban. And it's Nations FC with a hit now, but then that's the head coach who seems displeased with quite a lot of things. And it's yellow card for Bashir Hayford, but then ball into the box, the header. And it's Anor who chases this one down and just take it out for a throw-in.
Well, definitely. I just cannot tell what Coach Bashir Hayford has been complaining about. But, of course, sometimes you understand the emotions get high in nature of this kind of games. And it's just palpable that Coach Bashir Hayford, at least the emotions has gotten better of him. But, again, we are continuing from where we left off. This time around, it is Nation that is starting on a promising note.
It's the header now by Prince Bedu. I wouldn't travel too far. And it's now Kwadwo Obing Jr. He has an escort in Mark Williams. Boateng couldn't get it off him. Obing Jr. into the box, and it's Rabin Sanon who does well. Awareness just on point to collect that one. Would have been a dangerous ball. Another disappointing ball, and that has been, what's been happening all afternoon between these two sides, especially in the final third.
Absolutely, very tricky ball there from Manu Hearts of Lions once again into the box of Nations FC. But again, goalkeeper Osman always at the right place. I think that he have won the heart of his coach, and he has been consistent even after Coach Kasimingil was displaced. Coach Frimpong comes in and he still maintains his post. It tells you the trust that have been given to this particular goalkeeper.
It's Nations FC now. Good ball. Will the whistle go? No. Referee Akumate had a whistle to his lips, but just wouldn't blow it. Wouldn't give a free kick to Nations FC, and now they move forward. Paul Kwame Boache there will find Chawate. Now back to Boche. It's now Bedu, and they seem to be crowding the midfield whenever they have the ball, and they've increased the intensity a bit. You talk about Nations FC, spoken about their home invisibility this season, which they are trying to keep intact, but the flag will go up against Chauncey Freeman, who looks to be in his element this afternoon after getting the goal.
Absolutely, and that is what you need from a top striker. Just look at the movement again. That was Kwanzaa. Just look at the way, simple touch there on looking, and was finding once again a strike partner up front, but again, just denied by the flag there. Excellent call.
And Yao done so. Just bringing out Faisal Chawate at that point. Fortunately, doesn't go into the referee's books. A ball quickly be taken by Isaac Boche. A crossfield pass trying to find Brandon Sapon. But then that ball will be lost, and Inim will hit that one in field. Some tussling there, the duel between these two players, Kwanzaa and then Prince Bedu.
Absolutely. You see what Nations is trying to do in this particular second half is to be dominant in terms of ball possession, because look, you don't allow Manu Hearts of Lion to determine the pace and the space of this game. When you give them the opportunity, they can punish you. And what Coach Performance is doing in this particular half is to tell his charges, hold the ball more, determine the pace of the game, and tell what must be done in the next 45 minutes.
Ruben Herdese showing too much of the ball there. Just look at that. Yeah, does well to win it, but a bit of a start showing. And I believe that's the reason why the referee just whistles. And we've seen one player, that's Paul Ateje, being booked for dissent. We've seen the head coach, and there it goes again. Franklin Akumate loses his patience, and Lawrence Osei will continue his protest, but then the referee having none of that.
Losing his cool, but I think that's a bit silly from the goalkeeper. He needs to be a bit composed, because look, you cannot, it's such a silly situation to get yourself in that situation, because this is a very cagey game. Your team needs you, and Lawrence Osei cannot, get himself into the book of the referee in such a manner. He needs to calm down a bit and focus in the next 40 minutes.
Confirmation of the yellow card. So 3 so far this afternoon, and it's getting feisty. There's never been a draw whenever these two sides have met. They've actually met 4 times. There's the 5th time they are meeting. The first time was on match day 10 of the 2023 23-24 season on the 12th of November, where Nations FC won by 1-0, courtesy Razak Simpson. Then later in that season, Lions also beat Nations in Kpando by 3-0. Mahmoud Moisen, Dia, and then also Pong getting the goals. And then they met again, match day 17, the header out. And it's still Nations FC, just with their tails up now. And balls from Suhini, bending, but wouldn't hit the target. That was a brave attempt by Suleiman Suhini. But like I was saying, the third time these two teams ever met was on match week 17 in January 2025, when Nations FC recorded an away win over Kpando Heart of Lions. But then Lions now making a catch in the box, into the box, they hit and misses the target. That was a hit by Ishmael Ado, the Kpando Heart of Lions midfielder, having the ball fall to him kindly, and with a volley, wouldn't even find the target.
Well, just look at that sweet build-up again. That ball from Chancellor Freeman in from the left-hand side, drops to nobody in particular. A chance begging for conversion inside the 18 of Nations FC, and the stylish midfielder Ishmael Ado just fluffing this opportunity.
Big chance falling the way of Kpando Heart of Lions. Like we rightly mentioned, it looks like there could certainly be goals in this game, because there's never been a stalemate in the history of this fixture. The last ever one came on match day 34 of the 2024-25 season, where it was Nations FC that lost on match day 34. Some say, you know, it was a dead rubber, because before that game, they were docked 3 points for failing to complete a Premier League game against Basake Holy Stars. And they lost with goals from Kwanzaa, who's playing this game, and Sido Asante, who is on the bench and could be making an appearance anytime soon. But it's Freeman. Lovely ball from Kwanzaa, who find Obi Jr. Will he get this one past the goalkeeper? Yes, he does. Will he cross the line? No. And good job done. But that is the goalkeeper, Osman, making himself so big. And that ball just took a hit and just took all the pace, which just couldn't find the net.
Misses by Whisker, isn't it? Just look at the power behind the ball. Absolutely disappointing from Obin Jr., a player of his quality. You expect him to hit it a bit harder. But again, lots of credit to Razak Simpson. And it's a bit disappointing that even the ball wasn't on target in the first place.
Obin Jr. finding himself 1v1 with Rabin Osman Sanan, the goalkeeper of Nations FC. All you had to do was just slot that one past the goalkeeper. And just look at that, Obin Jr. without any grip whatsoever. And the goalkeeper does well to get his body on the way. Makes himself so large. Obin Jr. couldn't just execute that ball to give Heart of Lions the lead in this game for the second time. But Zateje worked so hard to win that ball. It's now Obin Jr. who's playing a bit more centrally. Ball headed. Again, it's a bit scrappy there. But then Ishmael Ado, oh, good skill to keep it in play. Still Ishmael Ado. But then Freeman just couldn't hold on to that. And they will break away. Nations FC now. Oh, good ball into space. But then wouldn't find Emmanuel Ano, who we've seen work tirelessly since the first half with his off-the-ball movement.
Well, certainly the ball quicker than Emmanuel Ano, not the best of it, isn't it? So much power behind the ball, and yeah, Ano cannot just catch it. Of course, maybe perhaps they should have time his running before slotting that ball in front of him.
So substitutions about to come out. Those were can feel the chess game in play, the tactical games. So Ateje's place will be taken by Faisal James Chowe. More like for like. Well, 50 minutes gone here. It's Nations 1, Heart of Lions. 55 minutes here at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. It's Nations FC drawing 1-1 against Kpando Heart of Lions. And Heart of Lions with a fair substitution in this game. Ateje comes off. He's on a yellow card. So as a precautionary measure, the head coach, who himself is also in the yellow card, decides to take him off and bring in a like-for-like replacement. There's Freeman now. Zach Simpson finds his goalkeeper. Cooley tries to just nick that one over the head of the un-Russian Echedogli. So he contributed immensely to the success of Heart of Lions this season in the league, looking at where they lie currently. And if the results should stay this way, it means that they will occupy top spot heading into the last round of games in match week 13. But then it's Nations FC now on the ascendancy. Suhini will find Kwame. The ball into the box, headed away by Arban. Well, foil kindly again to Suhini, who mops up, but that ball aimed at no one in particular.
Well, places at no man's land, but again, I was thinking that he was aiming for his Leeds markman, Emmanuel Yao, but again, it's just too heavy for him. Maybe great idea, but execution, definitely something lacking a bit of quality there.
I've seen 2 goals being scored. Then we've seen a dozen of chances falling to both teams. And it's Hennessy now.
Well, just talking about the substitution, we've just seen a young chap that has been flashed in, like you said, Faisal Chawe. He's just 17 years of age.
It's now Emmanuel Lano. Emmanuel Lano will race down the line. And he has Arban with him now, but the last touch obviously coming off the Heart of Lions skipper. And it's a corner to Nations FC.
Well, Nations FC are continuing in the same trajectory we saw of them in the first 45 minutes. And what is the trajectory? Is using the talisman, Emmanuel Yao. But I've already told you that it's very difficult for Yao because anytime he's in possession, the number of players that
the ball crossed into the box, but Echedogli will just get that one away. Danger averted. And he finds Chauncey Freeman. Oh, lovely skill there by Kwame Boache. And Nations FC will turn defense into attack in the space of seconds. They go again. Oh, this could be the goal for Nations FC. Oh, what a save! Point blank save by Lawrence Osei. Yes, his clean sheet would have gone, but then he has some reputation to keep here.
Absolutely. Let's look at that run from in midfield there. Saw the run of Faisal Chawe, places it in front of him, and at this point you are thinking the top striker would have just buried it, but what a hand to deny him. Lawrence Osei, very, very excellent save there on that occasion.
Big chance. Faisal Chawe has not really had his scoring boots on this season, just 2 in the last 12, but the corner taken with a header going, no, the header again. Oh, that ball wouldn't go through, and they are making a mess out of it. Heart of Lions, they just can't clear their lines. Again, Kojo Obin Jr.'s pass would just go through, and it's Heart of Lions with their back facing the posts for now. But another disappointing ball will mean that they can have some space to breathe.
A free gift from Kojo Obin Jr. from Razak Simpson. And you were thinking that Lions could have just punished Nations FC on the break, but again, very poor pass there from Obin Jr. And Simpson does well to hit it up front. But you see, this is where we will see who is the top side in this particular game. Or this moment is where the boys will be separated from the men.
Ball giving away again, and it's Nations FC. Chawe with a wrong touch. And the Holy Heart of Lions should be careful. They are treading dangerously now, but then can they also turn that defense into a quick attack now? Can they quickly get it done? It's Freeman to the left-hand side, to Enim, the cross, but just eludes everyone and crosses the line for a goal kick to Nations FC, but we could be having some more substitutions coming on. Goal kick taken quickly. Hennessy will go up. And it's Emmanuel Lano, who just keeps on fighting so hard, but Heart of Lions will lose possession now in the middle of the pitch. And it's Boche, who's playing so well this afternoon. And just look at that, Kwanzaa tripping him.
Very, very silly foul, isn't it? Just trips his man. He's so strong for him there, and such a very wonderful foul to concede. That's another very poor kick there coming from Nations FC. Balloon beyond everybody. And that's not the best way to I mean, get goals if you really want to. They need to be very incisive and very direct anytime they are bending those balls into Lions' final third.
A couple of inferior balls into the final third. But then substitution for Heart of Lions now, and Kojo Obin Jr. will have his last say in this game. And Cedar Asante, who was on the score sheet the last time these two teams met here a couple of months ago, will be thrown in with the hopes of at least finding the back of the net again in this fixture. Perhaps history could repeat itself.
Absolutely, the former Liberty man definitely adds a lot of weight and quality to Lions' game. Let's see his impact he brings into the field now.
Simpson. Yeah, manages to find Brandon Sarpon. Gripman to Simpson. Simpson will go with a long pass, but that will be intercepted by Enim. Enim caught napping there, and the ball stolen as well. And it's now Nations FC. The ball to the right-hand side now. The cross into the box, but it's blocked.
I know once again taking so much time to deliver that ball, and reason why ricochets off one of Lions' players. Not the best of the season, isn't it?
Seedorf with his first touch wins a free kick after Razak Simpson just collides into him. Seedorf Asante, some time back, was a starter in this team, but has lost his place over the last couple of seasons. He's been relegated to the bench a couple of times. But he's still one of the players they count on, especially looking at the fact that their top scoring player, Michael Epson, is not in today, not part of the match day squad. Epson.
Absolutely well said. Not the best of minutes he's having this season. Just 30 minutes against Kerala United, 68 against Vision FC, and of course, just 20 against Young Apostles at the Den at Pandos. So tells you that in terms of game time, he's not really getting it as he used to.
Ball will be cleared. Simpson wins that header, but it's now Ishmaelado to Ebenezer Urban. And both teams are trying to neutralize the strength of the other, especially in the final third. We've seen, most of the play happening in the middle third, but we've seen both teams also being on alert, especially after they both conceded in the opening 45. It looks like they've been on alert in the second 45.
You need to be on a red-hot alert, considering how these two teams are playing. And you see the strength of Nations FC in the first half was to use the long balls, but in the second half, they've been more relaxed. They love to pass the ball around, enjoy themselves in the game, push it up front. And for Pando Hearts of Lion, it looks like the win have been taken out of their cell. It's just been a scrappy play for them so far. They need to calm down and get into the game.
A wayward pass will be picked up, and it's Prince Bedu now with a chip effort into the box. And Lawrence will say, you can see his reaction there. His teammates losing the ball in a very, very dangerous area.
Definitely expect Lawrence Joseph to be very angry. A player who have seen everything in the Ghana Premier League, played for once upon a time Bechem United, Ashanti Goals and all of that, so he understands what it means anytime players are moving in that direction in terms of movement in the 18
and
yards.
It's Seedorf again, but a shot of Razak Simpson. And that was a good play on the left-hand side by Chauncey Freeman, who continues to be a menace to the heart of the Nations FC defense.
Well, both have been at the receiving end of most of these flying tackles this afternoon, or evening, I should say, here in Abrankesi. But what the player is being, you can feel his impact in the game, and that is what I'm sure Coach Frimpong is expecting from a chap like him.
It's still 1-1 here at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. Nations FC drawing against Heart of Lions. A KG game. Now it's Suhini racing down. And it's his teammate making the run, but that ball wouldn't just move there. Now it's Heart of Lions now. Kwanzaa He has seed of peeling off in an offside position, and that was why that ball wouldn't go to him. But it's now Nations FC playing a bit high up. We are seeing space behind, but no quality ball yet to just cut them off guard. And Alban will calmly fend off that press by Emmanuel Ano. Oh, that was a dangerous one. But referee will signal for the substitution to be made. That was that earlier ball again, and just look at that, start showing. I think just caught Brandon Sapon on the ties, but...
And you can see what a game we have so far, but I think what Nation FC have done perfectly in the second half is the fact that, yes, they are high up the pitch, but what they have not taken their eyes off is the fact that they need to be watchful in terms of defending.
So Chawate has been pulled out. Such a tough day at the office for the Nations FC star, but he makes way for Abdullah Mashoud. And Echedogli will be the second Heart of Lions player who goes into the books of referee Akumate. Just loses possession, and just look at that, crushes into Kwame Boakye. And at that point, Echedogli knew what was coming. That was a dangerous tackle.
Absolutely, it's a risky one there, but the midfielder cares less about it once he saves his team. But he needs to be careful because now he's gotten into the book of the referee. Any card again means that he's out, sitting out of this game.
And that's Kwame Boakye faithful there, enjoying his time in the arena.
Absolutely, you need to enjoy some of this moment. You need to drink it in and feel it.
It's still buzzing here in the stands. The Nations FC fans still cheering their team on. They know where they lie on the league log. It's just unlike Nations FC since their promotion to the top flight. They finished 7th, they finished 5th, but this season they currently lie 12th, which is very unlike them. And the ball to go in, the shot, the header there, and how did he miss?
Can you believe it?
And how did Emmanuel Ano miss from that angle? Just look at that, onside. Just couldn't dive the shot or the header on target.
Absolutely not the best of positioning from the experienced striker, but again, and a bit disappointing for the fans who knew that they were already jumping to the lead with Yao left in that plenty of space.
A good slide there, lovely slide by Gripman. And it's now Ano who missed a glorious chance not long ago. Can he send in the cross? Yeah, he does. But Hennessy will just intercept that one calmly. Finds Ishmaeladu to Freeman, who is now in a hurry to advance the ball. Enim will take a couple of steps now to Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa shows too much of it, nearly losing it, but they recover quickly. Ishmaeladu, a good ball into space now. And what a tackle that was from Kwame Boakye. What a tackle that was.
And Chawe, yeah, absolutely. Brilliant idea from him, isn't it? But
another substitution. Another substitution from coach Frimpong Manson. And it's Suwaidu Suhini Sulemana who comes off. And it's Kelvin Ampofo set to also have an impact in the remaining 20 minutes plus added on time here at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. But then for now it's a corner kick which will be taken, and he takes it to the near post but headed out by the Nations FC defense. And that ball just couldn't go anywhere. Butcher losing the ball. Another ball into space for Chawe. But then too much on it for Chawe, the substitute, to get at the end off.
Absolutely, but again, Nations need to watch this round because he's shown glimpse of some promising prospects of the 17-year-old, and I love the fact that he's beginning to cause a bit of stir in Nations FC final 10, and this is where you need the likes of Simpson to be on the outlook for the youngster.
Emmanuel Ano now Just has Aban to beat. Aban does well to stick in a foot. Sends him a bit back. He retreats, but it's still Nations FC. Ampofo to the right-hand side. Finds his teammate, the long cross into the box. But then it's Chowe who ends up recovering that ball. To Hennessy. Back to Chowe. Chowe's ball. It's Isaac Butcher now, by a poor ball there. But the flag goes up for an offside. And we're only 19 minutes plus stoppage time away from what could be a possible pulsating draw. Never has it happened in this fixture. But then it's now Ampofo. Goes past his marker. But then great recovery. And what's the referee saying? Appeals for a penalty, but referee Akumate having none of that.
If you watch the referee's body language, Josiah, you know that he wasn't perturbed about that particular incident at all.
Lovely ball into space, and it's Seedorf who races down. Yes, he gets onto it, but then you have bodies in the box defended by Nations. The hit there, but then ricochets off the Nations FC defender. And Echidogli, he needs to be careful. He's on a yellow card. That was a very, very spirited tackle there.
Oh, that destroys it. It's just destroying things this afternoon.
And it's Ampofo again on his bike. There's Mashoud. Mashoud. But just couldn't get it. And that ball will go out. And tell you what, you have these two coaches, title-winning coaches. You have, but that was the ball again.
Lovely movement there, but again, strong defensive work there from Kwanu Hearts of Lions again, and it's the man Enim who was always going to be involved in that challenge there in terms of stopping anything that is thrown against Hearts of Lions goal area.
Another ball there, but the referee will whistle. And Echidogli needs to be very, very careful. Referee Akumate trying to stamp his authority on the game, asking Echidogli to calm down.
He needs to be careful.
Tempers are beginning to flare now. We are down the stretch. 73 minutes played. You can feel the intensity gradually rising. And the frustration also seeping in for these two teams. But you can imagine where that ball would land eventually. That was a huge one from Ampofo, Kelvin.
Absolutely. Nations FC needs to be trying some of this long balls into Hearts of Lions defensive area, because, you know, maybe, just maybe one of them will fall to the ground for them to be able to hatch onto, and that is how you need to try. If you are using the midfield, it's not working. If you are trying to do the short passes, it's not working out. You need to find another alternative, and I think that is what Nations FC is finding.
Still remains 1-1 at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. Razak Simpson trying to find his teammate. Kwame Boache with a pass with his, favorite left foot. Lawrence Osei with an accurate pass to find Bismarck Enim. Prince Bedu does well. Ampofo. Bedu. And 75 minutes played here at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. It still remains Nations FC 1, Heart of Lions 1. But then Heart of Lions will look to move forward with the Aldanso, whose first touch will let him down.
Absolutely. And I love what I'm seeing here on the screens. The students really enjoying themselves out here in Abrankasi. They love to see their Nations FC win, but it's even at the moment. But let's see what happens in the next 15 minutes.
Nations FC, led by their coach Frimpong Manson, about to effect a change again. Still tweaking tactics till he gets it right. And this time, it was Mashoud Abdullah just bundled onto the turf. But it's Emmanuel Arnault with what could be his last touch with a cross into the box, but then no one there attacking that one for Nations FC.
Worrying spectacle for Nations FC when you have some of these balls flying into the penalty area and there's nobody there to receive it and to hit it home. It's a bit disturbing, especially for the fans and for a team that is looking to climb from the 13th position at the moment.
Ebenezer Alban with a long one. Gripman does so well to missing the initial air ball. Does well to recover and win that one. But it's now Kelvin Ampofo. Tries to find Emmanuel Arnault. Again, Emmanuel Arnault racing down. Does well to keep it in place. It's Emmanuel Arnault with the left foot. But that one just flashes across the face of goal. But it's still in play. And it's Kwame Boachi does well again. Echedogli tailing him. And what's the call?
Well, picking some exciting.
Referee points to the flag. And it's a corner kick to Nations FC. Echedogli. You can hear Ishmaelado asking him to have cleared that one on the first time of asking. But Tete Samuel will be coming on. And he'll be taking the place of Emmanuel Arnault, who stays on 6 goals after match day 13. Because that chance was the last time we were going to see him in action. Emmanuel Arnault. He's not going to score. He's not going to increase the tally, which means that Atakumi would have some breather heading into Gold Stars' game tomorrow.
Absolutely. It tells you that Emmanuel Arnault, that was obviously his last kick in this particular game. What a way would it have been if he had found the back of the net? That would be a joyous moment for the fans out there. But again, it's 3 and 45 minutes for Emmanuel Arnault, and still he is without a goal.
So Emmanuel Arnault will be taken off, but injury concerns for Emmanuel Arnault, whose last kick eventually ended in him taking a knock, and he might not be able to walk out all by himself. He would need a stretcher there. But then his place is taken by Samuel Tete, who Coach Frimpong Manso will be counting on, hoping that at least he could get a job done for them. But it's corner kick set to be taken by Isaac Boche. He goes short, and it's Kwame Boachi. But then Kwanzaa does well to get it out. It's now Sapon. Sapon with a cross is a low one. And Alban, but then that should be an offside because Sapon was just coming off the red zone.
Well, took so much time to let it in, but look at it once again, that movement from Sapon. It was a lovely idea, brought it back, but again, the positioning of Beidou always going to be a huge problem for this Nations FC side.
Brandon H. Sapon. Brandon H. Sapon, and after that kick, seems like his shin came off. And he has the referee, center referee Akumate. So we are still trickling down to 90 minutes here, barring any added on time.
So Julia, 79 minutes, and it's still the same old story. As Nations FC holding Lions to a 1-1 draw here at a Brancasia ground that they have really solidified themselves as they are then, but it's proving very difficult for them. The only team that seems to be coming here and getting the result is Lions, but today looks not to be their day. 10 minutes more to go, let's see.
So it's a corner kick to Heart of Lions. Just 10 minutes left to play on the clock. Can they make this count at this crucial time? It's Ishmaelado with a cross to the far post, but Robin Osman Sanon will get his hands onto that. And it's now Mashoud racing down the right-hand side. Still Mashoud, just can't go past Echedogli. What a game he's having, Echedogli. Again, manages to keep that one in play. But then Ishmaelado, that was a poor ball from Ishmaelado, and it's now Butchie. Butchie to the left foot, Butchie! Misses by a whisker, looks into the skies. In disappointment, he just can't believe he's not found the back of the net.
That's an agonizing miss, isn't it? Betis back at it, took its time. Well hit struck there, but again, misses the ball by inches there. And Butcher is asking himself, how did he miss that?
That was a huge hit by Isaac Butcher from outside the box, and he'll be the same person to effect the corner kick. With about 8 minutes left on the clock here, it's getting even more nervy and dangerous for any defending team now. The cross into the box, but then headed out by Kwanzaa. Ishmaelado does well to hold up play. Now it's a Santasidov. It's Echedogli now.
Lovely way to switch the ball to the right-hand side. Let's invite Echedogli, who connects to Sidov once again, but unfortunately, they continue on the same trajectory.
It's now Yaudanso advances, but the ball, of the vitals of Gripman, and you can see his reaction there. The pain excruciating for Gripman. It's quite unfortunate that he just had to just block that one with his vitals. Just look at that. Oh.
I mean, you need to do everything to keep your team in a game, and that is what Gripman has just done. But again, not the best of sights in players go through such pains.
And Gripman taking one for the team. He just had to. But it's now a corner kick. Nations FC will have to defend and defend carefully. It's Bismarck Enim who will take that one, but then punched away by Osman. But then last touch coming off Ishmaelado. Yaudanso. A referee whistles again for play to resume. Yeah, play does resume. Prince Bedu would find Tete. His first real action. This is coming on for Emmanuel Ano. A bit undecisive there from Tete, but it does well to hang on. Good hold up play from the striker. It's now Kwame Boache. We're trying to find his teammate with a lob. Isaac Butchie to the right-hand side. Now to Ampofo. Back to Butchie. Oh, a bit casual, too casual from Butchie. And that ball wouldn't travel as intended. But then some holding there by Ampofo, and it's a free kick.
Some time like setting in now, isn't it, Josiah, from both ends of the pitch. But again, just look at it. Like you rightly mentioned, that's a bit tricky there from Kwanzaa there, but Lions will have the advantage to see if they can push this one up front. But again, we've seen lots of substitution coming from Bando Hearts of Lions. They've just thrown in Fauzi Ali, and of course Huto also been thrown in by Bashir Fort.
So triple substitution set to be effected by Coach Bashir Hayford. Still has his eyes on the prize, even with as little as 5 minutes left plus added on time. But then it's now Nations FC, the step over, but that just wouldn't go through for Mashoud Abdullah. And it's Boateng who wins the ball back again. The cross into the box, but headed out by the skipper. And again, Nations FC will tidy up. Gripman. 5 more minutes to go at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. There's still 1-1 here. But then ball forced kindly to Bedu, hits it hard, and that is a goal! That is what could be a winner for Nations FC in this cagey encounter at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex with just 5 minutes to go. It is Prince Bedu who stuns the visitors with a well-taken goal from a distance. No one saw it coming. No one saw it coming. He just stuns everyone. He punishes them. And this could possibly be the winning goal for Nations FC.
Absolutely. It just looked like the whole Abrankasi have just been let out of the den. The way all of them just popped out after Prince Bedu got that goal. Absolutely sensational. And look at the celebration. Look at it here. Aban's header forced to Prince Bedu. And look at that for a shot there. Absolutely beating goalkeeper Lawrence Osai, who has no idea about it.
That looks like a deflection of Prince Bedu. Just buy the ticket there, and if you never buy the ticket, you never win a raffle. He took a chance from a distance, and he hit that one with some venom, which had a ricochet of the Heart of Lions player, and the triple substitution now set to be effected.
Tells you if Nations FC win this game means that after 2 years they've been able to beat Banu Hearts of Lions once again after beating them back in 2023. And what a goal from a player who have really worked his heart out throughout this game.
Nations FC fought gallantly despite going down as early as the 22nd minute. They've shown so much resilience, so much ambition, and the lead with about 3 minutes and added on time to go here at a place where they call home, a place where they call a fortress. And each and every time they step onto the turf, they are bound to defend it. At Heart of Lions now, making an incursion. Hennessy, Fauzi with a crossfield, diagonal ball. But then this could be dangerous, and Osman Sanon stepping out right on time to just grab that one.
I think it's something very normal from Nations FC. That sometimes they like to score at almost at the dying embers of the game. Did that against Hoka United in 86 minutes when Emmanuel Arnold scored, and also did it against Brecum Chelsea. So it tells you that at least they may not be the best of side in games, but they know how to get the goals once it matters.
They have a penchant for getting goals late in games, and that's a mark of a team that's resilient. But it's Chowe and the header again, but that ball just not good enough. And we spoke about the fact that history could repeat itself, because the last 4 meetings between these two teams has never seen a stalemate. And just 5 minutes to full time, where we're thinking for the first time ever we're going to see a draw in this fixture. The narrative changes, courtesy Prince Bedu.
Absolutely, the archives have just been opened, and that is the reality here at the moment after 88 minutes. But let's see if Nations FC can hack onto this 2-1 lead at Abrankasi.
Nations, can they hang on with about a minute to go? But there's a trip there. Antonio Usu tripping Brandon Ainchi. And Brandon Ainchi is covered every single blade of grass this afternoon here on the pitch. Despite playing at the far right-hand side for Nations, he's been unplayable down the stretch. That's so well with his other play, but then they can move forward again. As Boateng, who will be dispossessed and just stuck a leg in there a bit late. And they're just inching closer to 90 minutes.
And as a consistency coach Frimpong Manso have been talking about, isn't it? Repeated the same starting 11 in a previous game against Baseke Holy Stars. They lost that game, but here they are due to consistency. At least they're on the verge of picking all 3 points here.
Prince Bedu commits the offense, and it's Heart of Lions with this defeat here. But confirmation of additional time. We are doing 6 minutes here at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. Can Heart of Lions find their way back into this? A game where they were once ahead. Get to see Freeman. They stare defeat right in the face after that stunning goal by Prince Bedu. And this defeat could just bring them to 3rd place, even before Gianna and Midiama kick a ball tomorrow to conclude the fixtures in match week 11.
Well, for Nations fans, that will be lots of minutes in terms of the minutes that have been added. But for Banu Hearts of Lion, they wish it could even be 10, but unfortunately, that is their reality at the moment. Let's see, it is important for Coach Pipamanso and his lads to hold on at this moment.
Can Nations FC hold on? Enim finds Dennis Huto. Huto to Fauzi. That was a long one, but then Hennessy will look to recover that. Good recovery by Hennessy, and they will regroup again as a skipper, Urban. And time looks to be running out for Heart of Lions, a team that's shown ambition since last season, came close to winning the title, but lost it to BBA Gold Stars last season by just 3 points. This season, they've started so well. They've stayed focused. They still had their eyes on the prize. By this point, they are down, and that was a bad ball. Will be regrouped, and it's Kelvin Ampofo now. That's well with a hold-up play, but then he'll be brought down by Hotel, and this is huge relief for Nations FC.
Huge relief for Nations FC. Unless to draw in the foul there, unless to buy some time to stay intact in this game, and now they can take their time and see how they hit this one up front. But again, it's been impactful Nation FC in this 45 minutes.
Ampofo, a substitute, came in. He's done so well on both ends of the field. Right, Scriptman now. And Mashoud just couldn't keep that one in play. It's now Heart of Lions, and they are racing against time now. Be asking, maybe just inject some pace in it, but it's still casual, just trying to find the next available person. Heart of Lions, but then ball, another poor one, blocked, and Butche will just release Mashoud. Mashoud has Arban in front of him. Mashoud, a bit of trickery there, but he just doesn't hold on. Will lose that one. Tight legs there. It's quite palpable, the intensity of this game so far. Ishmaelado now in the center circle will just find his teammate Chowe. Chowe does well again, but it's cleared. No nonsense defending there by Simpson. The fans look on, hoping that they could just cross the line. About 2.5 minutes remaining here on the clock. Robin Hennessy.
Well, if Tete had managed that ball earlier on, I tell you what, that could be a close docket so far for Kwano Hearts of Lion, but they stay intact in this game, and I felt like Tete should have just run himself into that trouble, but it's been good so far from them. Here, we need to see the character of Lions.
Heart of Lions struggling to find that pass that could possibly just carve open the defense of Nations FC that looks so resolute and compact.
In this second half.
And you just can't begrudge them. There's a time to make merry. Just look at that. Interesting times,
isn't it?
And the home faithfuls, just look at that. In full voice, they know how crucial the 3 points will be to them. But then on match day 14, we'll see Nations FC traveling to Accra Hearts of Oak. And then Adriana will be visiting Kwando Heart of Lions. Perhaps as a game they could use to salvage something or even revive, you know, the waning title hopes at this point. But just have about 1 minute and some few seconds to go here. But it looked to be a Nations FC player on the turf.
And that looks to be Tete.
And that's Echidogli. Played his part gallantly, but just couldn't prevent his side from going down in what has been one of the most difficult away fixtures for them this season. And the results will lift Nations FC to 9th place, 16 points, which at least for now will just give them something to be excited about heading into match day 14. But ball will be cleared, half cleared there. Again, the clearance not going through. Asante Seedorf miscuing that one. It's now Chowe. But again, Both players not on the same tangent. And we have about 15 seconds. The referee looks to his watch. He could be blowing the final whistle any moment from now. Nations FC hanging on. A vital win. They are still unbeaten here this season. But then the ball falling to out of lines. Could this be a goal? Oh, he blasts this over.
What a miss at the death for full time there. Crazy stuff, isn't it?
What a chance that was. And just look at that.
Samson was bit into it.
Just hit that one. And then it was Yao Danso who just couldn't finish. But then confirmation of a yellow card to Oko Gripman.
And you know, Yao Danso will be having a lot of thoughts. Same as this man, Bashir Ford. He could have buried it. That would have settled the score here.
And any moment from now, referee Franklin Akumate will be blowing the whistle for the end of proceedings. And there it goes. The final whistle goes from referee Franklin Akumate. And what has been a thrilling, exhilarating game of Ghana Premier League football here at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex, where Nations FC had to rally, they had to dig deep. It was a tall mountain to climb, but it came from a goal down to beat Heart of Lions by 2-1. And Prince Bedu has been adjudged as man of the match. But then this defeat leaves Heart of Lions third on the league log. But then for Nations FC, it catapults them from 12 all the way into the top half of the table. 16 points now, and disappointment there on the faces of the Lions players. They came, they did their best, but the competition from these Nations lads was just exquisite on the day. Played well, played their hearts out, despite going down very early in this game. They kept their cool, they kept their focus, and they managed to win. Full time at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. It finished Nations FC 2, Heart of Lions 1. Sports Complex, where it's Nations FC coming from a goal down to win by 2-1. That Prince Bedu goal down the stretch, giving them all 3 points in this much anticipated game here in Abrankesi. I'm now here by the winning coach, Stephen Frimpong Manso, who looks a bit excited. Let me talk to him. Coach, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Coach, how excited are you that despite going down in this game, you managed to come back to win by 2-1?
Yeah, it was a very difficult game, and we knew this even before the beginning of the week, that Lions are a very good side, and so it's going to be a difficult game. So for me, I wasn't surprised about what happened in the game. Yeah.
The opening minutes, it was quite, rusty from your boys. It was quite sluggish. You were struggling to find your momentum. You were struggling to find your passes even going through. But did you have the belief that going down 1-0, you would be able to come back to win this game?
Yeah, of course. I knew we can come up, because even when we were down, we were creating some chances, decent chances, but we were not taking them. So yes, I believe if we are able to take the chances, we can come back for the game. So for me, I didn't give up that after conceding we were going to lose the game. No.
First half, we saw you floating the balls all the way to Emmanuel Arnaud. In the second half, we saw Mashoud also coming from the right-hand side, being, supported by Kelvin Ampofo. Was that a game plan in the last 20?
Yes, that was how we targeted the left back, because initially entry on the right was doing well, but then at some point we realized we need to double up the attack. So we brought in Abdallah. He has that raw speed. So we decided to go for the raw speed. And then it worked for us. Yeah.
Now you've moved from the bottom half of the table after this win. Momentarily, you are into the top half. You are ninth now, 16 points. How pleased are you now for the first time, or for the first time in a long time, you find yourself in the top half of the table?
Yeah, it's going to motivate us. It will give us the confidence to also fight. For me, I knew, I know we will come back. We will come back strongly. It's just we need something to step on to move forward. So for me, I think this match can take us up there. Yeah.
Match day 14, you make a trip all the way to the capital to take on Accra Hearts of Oak. How difficult would that be for you after such, a very, very big win?
Yeah. In this league, even if you are playing against the bottom club, you cannot say it's going to be easy. Of course, we know Hearts of Oak, they are a strong side, one of the a very good side in the league. Yes, but in Accra, we know it's a bit open. So yes, if you psych your players well and then they go play to your game plan, you can also get the results.
Thank you very much, and congratulations once again. So that's the head coach of Nations FC, Stephen Frimpong Manso. His side came from a goal down to win by 2-1. They left it a bit late in this game. With just 5 minutes to go, it was Bedu Prince who got them the most important goal in this game to grab 3 points. So in 7 home games so far for Nations FC, this is their 4th win and 3 draws. But then they still keep fighting to make it into the top 4 this season after finishing 5th last season. I've now been joined here by the losing coach, and commiserations, Mr. Hayford.
Thank you very much.
But would you say you just couldn't keep your concentration levels very high, and that was what accounted for the defeat?
I think because of the winning we are winning, my top players, they call themselves senior players, I think they are joking. I should put them on their feet, because now the complacency is too much. And so it is not about this, but they are too complacent. And so that is why we lost. Fine, so it's a game. We'll go back and then play.
You came into this game in 2nd place, level on points with the leaders, Mediama Sporting Club, and even a draw would have momentarily put you first on the league log until the other teams played. Are you disappointed that you just couldn't capitalize on this?
Very. We have had an opportunity to jump to the top 5 times. And honestly, anytime we get the opportunity, we mess up. And so I think we have to go back, and then we go back to the drawing board and see what is up. Honestly, my so-called experienced players, let me down today.
And during halftime, before we kicked off for the second half, you were shown a yellow card. Would you please tell us what happened? What led to you being carded at that time?
No, I'm just from the recess. So I sat down and I saw the referee coming. Then he said, you. And I said, what have I done? So you stupid man. And I said, oh, are you insulting me like that? Then he showed me the yellow card. So I came to report it to the match commission. I've never met this situation before, that a central referee will come to the touchline and insult the head coach. And after that, then he showed the yellow card. I said this match is being telecast live, so I don't have a problem. Everything they are doing is being shown live, and people have even started calling me. That is what I said. I didn't, if you can verify from anybody. But he came out and insulted that I'm a stupid man. Have you heard some before?
Thank you very much, and commiserations for your defeat. So that is the head coach of Heart of Lions, Bashir Hayford. His side ended up on the losing side today in this huge fixture here at the Dr. Kwame Chase Sports Complex. They lost to Nations FC, the home side, by 2-1. And now I've been joined by the man of the match, and that is Prince Bedu. His goal in the 86th minute actually won all 3 points for Nations FC. Prince, congratulations. What's your man of the match? Now, first of all, answer maybe some foul performance. Win way, then I am.
First of all, meda Australian Ponyanko say what kind of na you winning match because we share a game no difficult. Because we share Heart of Lions a better side, a good side, and a nation is also no be any senior. Yeah, you see, I pay 11 Abedro. To go into the game now, nothing but win, nothing but win. It's not the near Shisha and Yanko Ponso Chadi or the Dumie.
But our performance are Ode Boche in midfield, and after mo concede my whole in the course row, mo passes, mo ball winning skill, everything. Then I walk off our performance now.
The make a fan performance and say, me a player, me naturally, Yanko Pon the energy na me are naturally gifted. No matter what. Metman lasted 200 minutes. Metman lasted into the my coach didn't know. And I mean, me play obia weakness, any obia strength. It is me player or a dribbler no lusubona. Me made the answer me cover my jibon na rain, and I'm so drive. To me, Boche society. I want from training grounds. Me say Boche me energy more than him. And also so passing a unity there in the app. Say even come me a dear man. Me say no echo. It's I say a win near pen. It's in performance in there. Me say. And nobody said nothing. Said they are winning going to be free.
Thank you very much, and congratulations for your man of the match. So that's the man of the match, Prince Bedu, who won or scored a winning goal in this game, and that also led him to winning the man of the match award. Now, Michael Akomia joins me here. Michael, what a game we witnessed! An exhilarating game, full of action. There was no dull moment. But what do you have to say about this win for Nations FC?
I think this game actually lived up to the hype. The level of intensity, decision making actually improved in the second half. Tactically, we could see a lot of different things from both teams. But at the end of the day, the one whose own worked was Coach Frimpong Manso, and I think he's the happiest man on this earth. There were a lot of things that went on the bench. There were a lot of decisions that went on the bench. But I think for him to stand firm on certain decisions, that has actually paid off for him.
But for Nations, we spoke about the fact that, yeah, their position as Nations FC, no, not really like them. It's unusual to find them, you know, just in the relegation zone or even closer to it. Do you think that's the win that turns everything around for them?
In as much as they are one of the worst away sides in the league, right here they do so well, they perform so well, and even on their worst day they're able to pick up a draw. And this is one particular instance. I think for the second half changes and a little bit of twerking and how mentally tough they were in the second half, they were able to overcome certain circumstances, especially with how compact Heart of Lions were, and they needed to shoot from every single angle. And you could see from the second goal, right shot outside the penalty box, hits a Nations FC attacker, gets into the net, and they have their win.
But looking at the title challenge now, it's still keenly, you know, being contested by all these teams. But do you think this is the point where Heart of Lions will look at themselves and say, we missed the golden chance to go top for a while?
I think for the Ghana Premier League, it's all about the bits and pieces, especially during the first round. You are not actually going to see a lot of points gap. Unless maybe from match day 20, match day 24, 25. That is where you see a lot of point gap between the top or the top four or maybe the bottom half. But now look at how they've been able to set up their team and how they are approaching away games. I think for them, this might look like a disappointing result to them. But I think this is a performance that they should be happy about, they should be proud about, that they've put up their best. It's just unfortunate that they lost the game at the diamonds of this particular encounter.
Thank you very much. I've really enjoyed your company, Michael Akomia, and this is where we wrap up on this coverage of the match day 13 Ghana Premier League game between Nations FC and then also Heart of Lions, where Nations FC were 2-1 victors after 90 minutes. My name is Josiah Okokwe, and on behalf of the entire production team, say thanks so much for watching. See you tomorrow at the Hohoi Stadium, where Hohoi United will be taking on Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Bye for now.